You have a dream of becoming a UX designer or a product designer, definitely at a big company or a very well doing startup, well funded startup. Right? All of us have this dream. But the question which really haunts us is it really possible for someone as normal as I am? Right? I am this person over here. Can I really become this UX designer? What if I told you, a student of mine, Purvi, a person who's a degree student, has actually become a product designer at Rapido with a really, really high paying job, that too as a fresher, right? So, all it tells us is that it's not really about having a very fancy degree or being born as a designer, but all it takes is consistent practice, having the right mindset, having the right attitude about learning UX, about seeing design and everything, and enjoying learning whatever she is doing. This is all it takes to actually become a very good designer and land a very good opportunity. So, to for us to make sure that for us to actually understand how this story can happen, we have Purvi over here. Hey Purvi, so let's bring Purvi onto the stage. Hello, hello, hello. Purvi.
Hello. Hi, sir.
Yes, so Purvi, as I told you, is a product designer at Rapido. All of you must be knowing Rapido. So if you are looking at this video right now live, please say, hey Purvi on the chat. And if you're really excited about listening to Purvi's story, please show your excitement on the chat by saying, I'm really excited about listening to your story. I want my reality to also be in this similar manner. I really want to listen to the story and understand what are the difficulties which you have faced, what are the ways in which you have, navigated ambiguities in situations where you are really in doubt. How did you, go past through that situations, and what did you study, what did you do, what portfolio did you do, what all things have happened. So all these things, if you're excited to know about, please show your excitement on the chat, right? Awesome. So to give you a little context, so Purvi has been a student of mine of my mentorship program. Roughly, it's been like around 1 year, one and a half years since Purvi has joined my program, and I think she was with me actively for around 6 to 8 months as a part of the program, and then around 6 more months after the program is over, being in touch. So it's she has constantly put effort, she has constantly done a lot of things as a part of the program, and even outside of the program she was continuously putting effort, training herself, practicing a lot of things in UX. So that's how I know Purvi here, and I am really, really proud of Purvi. I've always been proud because she was one of the first benchers in her batch. She was always there, she used to always come on calls, she used to be on video, ask questions. In fact, Purvi, I have actually collated something to show it to you. I don't think would have expected, right? But let me just quickly showcase a bunch of things that we have made for you here.
Before that, I would like to say hi to everyone who is on the live call. Really happy for everyone who has joined and took out time from your schedules. I hope I can give you good insights. You can put down your questions, and I will try to simplify my experience and give you whatever knowledge I have gained so far. Yes, really, really
Absolutely.
excited for it, and also a bit nervous, but
You can be absolutely
doing it
chill.
for the first time.
Yeah. I think people really, really want to understand the the actual what you are. You just don't have to stress at all. Just be very natural, just be yourself, right? And everyone here, just consider them as friends. They're just here to just listen to us talk about our stories. That's it, right? But yes, Purvi, here I have something which I want to show to you. I hope you remember this. This is like a an intense conversation we had. Remember?
Can never
It
forget.
was a, yeah, it was a review in which you're presenting your project. I think I was talking about. I think that this was one point where it was like a very very good turning point realization about going thinking about a user's journey. I think that was one thing, and there was
Yes.
another thing which I have put over here. I think this will you will really like this. She was very active in asking questions, and right. So, oh, I think people are not able to hear the audio.
Yes.
No, no worries. Let me. But it's okay. It's fine. So this was a point where we were discussing about her project, and she has presented an approach. Purvi, do you remember this call?
Yeah, I clearly do remember the call. This
Yeah.
is from the mega project that
Yeah. So during her mega project, she was doing her capstone project, and she was working on this shoppable live streams project, and um, and during that, I think it was a mid review, middle of a project. She has presented a hypothesis, and she has explored a bunch of screens and all that stuff. And I think that was something which I really remember, where we were like, this changes everything.
yeah.
What do you remember, Purvi, from that
I
day?
do. Yeah, like I was all happy that okay, I'm able to do it. I was on the right path. I did all the research, hypothesis, pen down everything, even started working on the UI for the screens because of course we had strict deadlines to follow.
Hmm.
And then I shared my work with you midway and you were like, all this is good, but you
Yeah,
need to tweak your thinking and think in this manner instead.
I think that
So
was
I
the
think
day
that
when.
was really an eye-opening thing as to how we should approach any problem, how to narrow it down from a broader problem that we have in hand.
Exactly, exactly. So, if you see at that part of the video, I'm going to be like, no, 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 all this is fine, but let's go micro. Let's go micro.
Yeah, exactly.
So they were like really, if I remember, one was the focusing on journeys and really going and understanding about what is the each behavior does a user really think about at this point of time. There is a chat over here. What is the user thinking about here? Like that one, and then going micro at every point. I think I
Yes.
just loved that discussion that day.
Yeah.
But I think, like, who really knew that, at that point people were like, I was like, hey, it's okay, do mistakes, it's absolutely fine, you have your approach, put it. And the good part is, if I'm going to question that, that means you have done well. If I'm questioning your approach and if the whole approach is changing, that means everything you've actually done it very well, because that's exactly what a mature UX designer does. They really iterate from whatever they have done, right? And
And
that
just to
day.
add to that, actually going micro helped me come up with very distinct user stories that I was tackling,
Correct,
and it
correct,
led me to working on very particular features that I
correct.
actually highlighted in my case study that made it stood out from the rest.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. What I was trying to say is, At that point, people really did not realize the the opportunity all this ambiguity had, right?
Exactly.
Like the whole churn of the project turning around, the whole feedback, people were like, no, 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 I don't want to work on a project which will change this direction, I don't want to get feedback. But yeah, these ambiguities, these uncertainties are what actually turned into stories. And that is what, these are the stories which actually Purvi told in her portfolio, spoke about in her interviews, and that really, really made a big impact, right? I think Purvi will talk about it as we go forward.
Yes, yes, sure.
So, but yeah, Purvi, I mean, I really wanted to start off this by showing that one very impactful memory which we had at that point of time. So, yes, Purvi. Firstly, so I think now people are like really curious. Who is this Purvi? Why are they talking about her project? What is this Rapido? What is all this? So I think now it's the time. So Purvi, just
Yeah,
tell about yourself. I'm not like an interview. Tell me about yourself, but
yeah.
tell us a little bit about
So
who you
I'll,
are as a normal person, right? I mean, forget UX and
okay.
everything. As a normal person, so the people can relate that, hey, like she's also like me, right? Yeah,
So
go ahead, Purvi.
I'll, yeah, I'll explain it in short. But yeah, so myself, Purvi Kejriwal, I belong to Assam. Like everyone else, I was pursuing sociology in my graduation as the major subject. And since childhood, I was like extremely curious about create everything related to creativity, be it painting or dancing and all of that. But then I also realized I really like solving things, not mathematically, but any problem that comes in day to day life also. I always try to think about it, find hacks to solve it, to make my life simpler, to organize things and all of that. Then I stumbled upon, and I wanted to do something in creative field. Sociology, yes, helped me with understanding how the society works. It helped me with research and all of that. But while doing my degree, it was the last year of my degree, and I wanted to have some plan that what's next. That's when I started researching about fields where I can combine my creativity, ideation, and all of that, and that also has some research or some sort of problem solving attached to it. I stumbled upon UX as a field, and I thought, okay, maybe I can give
We'll
this
get
a
there.
try.
We'll get into
Okay.
UX. About
Okay.
you, about the normal you, because people just want to first relate.
Okay.
Yeah, ये job, like people who get jobs, are they अलग है क्या? I mean, they're like different, or like people like us only.
That's
So
I'm literally like each one of you is seeing this live. But I was at some point I had no clue what to do in life. I had no clue what type of fields even exist that I can pursue. I used to get questions asked by my family, by my parents, कि आगे क्या करना है, आगे क्या करना है, and of course the pressure of getting financially independent, seeing a lot of people around me hustling in their lives. So I've also been through all of that. So do not just see what I am today, but then I was at a similar point as you all. So yes.
yes, Purvi. So okay, so since anyway you're talking about, so yeah, so how did your pursuit for UX design, like what really happened? Like what made you think of UX design or product design, right? Like when you're a sociology student, that's like, as far as I'm concerned, it's like one another degree.
Yeah.
I mean, probably you should tell people what sociology is a little bit about, because I mean, I'm damn sure whatever you have learned, whatever you've become, even as a sociology student, I'm damn sure there's a lot which you have picked up fundamentally from what you have done there, and I think it has helped you in UX as well. So yeah, why don't you just talk to us about you being a sociology student, and then from there, how did your interest towards UX come, and like what happened?
Okay, so I'll be very honest about whatever happened.
Absolutely.
No sugarcoating and anything. So I was doing sociology, and in sociology, we basically learn about people around us, how society has evolved, why people behave the way they do, different regions, their cultures, how people change from region to region. And in that, we also have theoretical papers like research as one of
Mhm.
them, like primary,
Mm.
secondary. So through sociology, I think I got that natural instinct of connecting with people,
Okay.
having that interest at knowing why people do things that they do, what their lives are, and how
Hmm.
as a whole different aspects of someone's life come together to shape
Okay,
them as a
for
person.
us who don't understand sociology exactly what it is, can you just give a one liner about what sociology is?
Basically, this is a study of society and
Okay,
man.
got it.
It's as simple as that.
Hmm.
So society may all the institutions that you have, like education, family, and politics and all
Hmm.
of that. So
Got it.
anything you can think of that's related to a society, anything
Got
that's around you in a society.
got it.
So it's a
Hmm.
study of that.
Hmm.
So through while I was doing sociology, I also had sociology in my plus two. So 5 years of sociology.
Okay.
So through that, I understood that okay, I like to connect to people. I like to empathize with them. I understood that okay, I have that sense where I can empathize with people. They need not be of my own group. They can belong to any class of the society, they can belong to any culture, but I have that instinct in me.
Hmm.
Now, coming to UX. So, in lockdown, I started painting and all of that. I also opened my small business, and I was very curious as to how can I combine my thirst for gaining knowledge and connecting with people, doing research with some sort of creativity.
Got it.
But this also did not, the answer to this was not simple as okay, I searched, I got UX, I did it. It
Hmm.
was not that simple. So I wanted some creative field where my life, I did not want my life to be very monotonous. कि
Hmm.
बस यही करना है. There should be some challenge, some things that I'm solving, some challenges that I'm facing. I needed all of that in my life.
But
Now,
what
when I
made this trigger? I mean, people in generally college, like generally, I see either they're like, I'll do whatever the seniors are doing, or I'll do whatever does helps me in getting campus placements, right?
so
Or
for
I'll
me,
probably do whatever my parents say. I think this is how generally I've seen students thinking. What made you the trigger? Yes, or nahi, like, but like what triggered you about
so
this?
I would say I've been like this only. Like my parents have also been very supportive. I
Hmm.
was the one who used to tell my parents, okay, I want to do this, do that. I am the first person in my entire family to take humanities, do
Hmm.
sociology. Nobody in my family till now knows exactly what sociology is about.
What were
I
they doing?
like it.
What was the
Commerce and science.
commerce
Come
science?
from a business family, yeah. So accounts, commerce, CA, doctors.
MBS. Hmm.
Yeah.
Got it.
So thankfully, I had very supportive. I do have like I have very supportive
Hmm.
parents.
Hmm.
And since childhood only, I knew कि even if creative field, I do not want to do interior designing, fashion designing because everyone around me is doing that. क्या करना है वो नहीं पता था, बस इतना पता था कि जो सब कर रहे हैं वो नहीं करना है.
Got it.
So I was like,
Yeah.
ये अच्छा product design
Hmm.
seems something new. And of
Hmm.
course, once I started searching, algorithm works like that. Ki, okay, now I stumbled upon more videos, more content, and then I got to know ki, okay, this is not something new. It's just that I
Hmm.
was unaware about it, and it's a growing field in India. That's why not a lot of people from tier two, tier three cities know about it.
If I have to point out something, Purvi, here is your attitude to always connect with what you fundamentally are, which is basically like, I want to do something different here. I mean, I want to do something meaningful but different. Like, whatever everyone is doing, I don't just want to blindly do it, right? I mean, you can use that argument for UX also, right? But you did not think about UX because everyone is doing it or for that reason, but you have that fundamental quality that I want to do something different, something really which connects for me, right? And you began that pursuit, right? And yeah, go ahead. Yes, and then what happened? Yeah, then
So
the
yeah,
universe
then
starts showing YouTube videos to you. Yeah.
yeah, I searched more about it. Got to know कि अच्छा ये हो रहा है अभी भी इंडिया में. It's just that मुझे
Hmm.
नहीं पता था.
And a few
So
ads too with a bald
yeah.
man coming in your Instagram.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so in the fifth sem, like, yeah, around fourth or fifth semester of my college, I was like, okay, I can give this a try. But I
Hmm.
still waited for fifth sem to end because I'm not someone who'll like hustle all the time, work hard. I can do smart work, but I'm
Hmm.
not someone who easily does hard work. I need my sleep and all of that. So I
That's a
waited
good one.
for
That's a
my,
really good one. Hmm.
yeah. So to everyone who is seeing this, you need not work for 10 hours a day. You need not study for 10 hours a day. That's not what's important. You need not lose who you are in the process.
Yes.
So, yeah, I waited for my fifth final exams to get over. March May it got over. April May I started learning about UX, and I again at that point of time I came to know about bootcamp courses. Because prior to that, I chose a different path like sociology, but everything was sort of conventional for me.
Hmm.
10th boards, then 12th boards, then 3 years of graduation.
Hmm.
Now I got to know, okay, I was also looking for design schools and degrees, but again, why not design school? I had a reason for it. मैंने
Oh,
बहुत सर्च
okay.
किया. Everyone around me told me कि नहीं, design मतलब तो you have to go a design institute and all of that. I was like,
But
no.
one thing is pursuit, yeah. I mean, that is something which you are like constant pursuit. I mean, this was same thing even when you were in the program, you were like that, right? I can like, but you are like pursue, pursue, pursue. Let me ask these people. Let me ask that. Let me search. Go ahead, go ahead. This is interesting. Go
Yeah.
ahead. Hmm. Okay.
So I was very clear as to, of course,
Hmm.
you get very scared also in the process. It's
Yeah.
not that
Yeah.
you're always very motivated to just do whatever,
Correct.
because here everything is on me. I am
Yeah.
telling my parents I want to do this. They are supporting me. I am telling everyone around me. So now, if I fail, what will I answer to them?
Correct.
And I have this competition with my own self as well. I cannot let myself down.
Hmm. Hmm.
Is that's my goal.
Hmm.
So that there was a constant fear. I also got very anxious at many points in life, but then I was like, okay, I knew ki, because from the instinct only I know ki design school is maybe not something that's for me. I researched, I got to know ki wahan pe you have to do a lot of things. You
Mm-hmm.
have to do this, that. It's not something, because they are building you from the foundation.
Which is
They
right.
won't focus on any particular thing. For example, if it's UX or product designing, they just won't teach you, okay, product design is this and that and all of that. They'll
Hmm.
ask me to do thousand other things that I did not want to do.
But
Because
I'm speaking for design schools because I absolutely love design schools because if you really have the time, design schools really help you a lot, right?
yes,
Uh,
definitely, I'm not
but
saying it's bad. Go for it if
no, no, no,
someone
no.
wants to.
What I'm trying to ask is like, how did you get that clarity? Like I know all this happens, but this is not for me now. Like because see, I
Yeah,
tell you one of the biggest ambiguities is everyone has a lot of options. Every like probably a design school, this, that, program, that, like courses, and a lot of options are there out there, right? But what really bothers everyone is how did you land into that decision which worked for you, right?
I genuinely don't
Or was
have
it
a
Hakuna Matata?
concrete. That could be like, I don't have a concrete answer. Like now when I speak, because now I am in a position where I have achieved at least something,
Hmm.
uh, then maybe it's easier for me to say all of this.
Hmm.
But I do remember times when I was lost. It was sort of a gap year for me. It was an online course, and boot
Hmm.
camps are not that
Yeah.
popular in India. Nobody trusts them. And then there are people around you who say if you're not from a design school, you might not get a good job and all of that.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
yes, I had my own, but I knew ki at this point of time, maybe if something in future, if this doesn't work out, maybe I'll research more and join a design school. But at that point of time, I did not want to put in
Hmm.
2 years more into something.
Got it. Got it. Hmm.
So 6 months to 8 months, or maybe 1 year, I can give to myself to explore and see if I'm good at it, if I can actually do it, if I can relate to this thing. If that doesn't work out, we'll figure out
That
something
that was my
else.
question. Like, so of course we'll talk about what happened later, but my question is, what was your backup plan? Like, chal, let me learn UX, let me take some support, but before that,
No,
but if that doesn't work out, to kya? Like, then what?
no backup plans I had at that point of time. I knew कि
Okay,
ऐसा ही करना है. And as
I'll
in
tell you
when
what.
the program was
That's
progressing,
something
I
which
also
I
realized I'm liking it.
yes, I'm coming to that, Purvi, right? Because as a mentor, that is one thing which I can really tell about you is, see, firstly, it happens to everyone, right? I mean, it happens to everyone that you do not really know about the choices you're making. Sometimes you just instinctively make it, right? But this instinctively making those choices, really, the confidence builds up from really, really understanding ourselves, right? You somewhere knew ki this is going to be a fit for you. You're going to enjoy doing this. You know that even if I'm going to spend some time in UX, like probably 6 months to 1 year, whatever time I'm going to spend learning this, I'm going to enjoy it. Like, because it's going to be, like, I'm going to be feeling fulfilled doing it. At least that is something which I've always seen in you, right? Whatever assignments you have done, like whatever project, whatever question, whatever group discussion, everything, you're like, yeah, this I need to do because enjoy.
Yeah.
Right?
So this again, this has been a trait since childhood. If I do something, I'll do it to perfection, like as much as I can. If I don't do it, I
The
won't.
perfection part also, but yes.
So yes, and so this came, so while I was pursuing painting and all of that in lockdown, I started my
Hmm.
small business. Then I realized, okay, I enjoy it so much. I
Hmm.
can sit for 4 5 hours listening to music, 6 hours, and it doesn't feel like that.
Hmm.
Same for UX. If I get into research, I'll do research so extensively
Correct.
that I just want to gain knowledge from YouTube, so articles and all of that. Doesn't feel like that.
Correct. Correct.
I get tired by the end of the day, but then again, that sense of accomplishment is there. Ki, okay, I
Yes.
achieved something.
Yes. Yes.
So, yep, it,
Awesome. So, okay. So, continue your story then. Like, what did you? Of course, I mean, you somehow found my mentorship at that point of time. But then, like, what was there in your mind? Like, how did you want to learn and approach UX? So, I need to talk about it a little bit.
yeah. So again, something that I've always enjoyed is if I'm
Hmm.
signing up for any
Hmm.
mentorship. It was during my school also.
Hmm.
If I'm taking tuitions from any tutor, I need to know who will be teaching me and what's his style of teaching. Do I like it or not? Give me trial session and all of that.
Hmm.
I do not need कि बस कोई आया पढ़ा दिया चला गया. I don't
Correct.
I've never enjoyed it.
Hmm.
So of course I was searching a lot as to what kind of courses can I sign up to. Again, searching about design schools and all. Also, there are a lot of other institutes also who has their own bootcamp courses.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
then I never got the answer to who will be teaching me all of that.
Got it.
Who will not teaching is actually not the right word, but
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
who will be my mentor
Correct.
throughout.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
That answer I got when I saw this program,
Got it.
because you have your own social presence, and just as a student, especially at that point of time, at that age, we do not earn anything, we have to spend our
Correct.
parents money. So we need to do our own share of research. We need to see कि okay, this person is reliable,
Hmm.
उन्होंने खुद कुछ कर लिया है इस इंडस्ट्री में, that's why he is the one who can teach us also.
Hmm. Hmm.
He is the one who can inform us about how it goes in real life.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's where I got the confidence कि okay, I talked to my parents, I talked to my brother. uh, but again, there was of course this thinking कि what if it's a scam, we are paying so and so amount.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
because I had never experienced a boot camp or any online course
Yes,
like this in my entire life.
yes.
So
It can be
yes, I just
totally be very overwhelming, right? I mean, at least with an established design school, you have some trust. That you have some trust that okay, they're like a bunch of people who graduated. At least, if nothing, at least I can showcase this degree or the certificate, right? But when it comes to an individual mentor, it can be very overwhelming, right? Okay, yes. So, what we really want to hear, Purvi, is how did you prepare yourself for learning? Like, you're going to get into something very intense. Um, you obviously saw that there're going to be a lot of workbooks, lot of projects, this and all that stuff. And but what prepared you? Like, what was the mental preparation you had for the six to
I
months to 1 year, which you dedicated yourself for learning? Like, I think that's what people really want to learn from. So please speak about it.
again, to be honest, before signing up for this, I had no clue that it's going to be so
Hmm.
extensive, like community. I'm talking to so many people, meeting so many people, and like just broadened up my entire thought process.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
I did not imagine it to be like this. I just
Correct.
knew कि अच्छा I have to learn about product design. I know he will be a very good mentor. I had seen your videos. I knew कि this is the teaching style I want to go for. No
Hmm.
theory, nothing. I need practical.
Non-textual
Yeah,
approach.
no theory. Yes, non-textbook approach has been my mantra throughout life only.
Correct.
कि
Correct.
even if I'm studying something in school, how can I apply it to my real life and understand and then memorize things?
Correct. Correct.
So
Hmm.
that's the only faith I had initially.
Hmm. Okay.
And yeah, and why throughout the program, I
How did you
never, to be honest,
commit? How did you commit? Like, what my question is really about your commitment and planning towards learning, because that's exactly where a lot of people struggle, right? People have this aim, have faced this very similar situation. People really, okay, they want to try UX design, they want to join programs, they want to join courses, or they want to self teach themselves UX design. But the biggest struggle which they have is committing themselves and doing something consistently. Because with you, Purvi, I really know, like, because if I I've been constantly following in your program, right? You are chatting on your group, you're chatting in the community, you are there in every call, you ask questions, you are doing every assignment, you are submitting projects. Like, commitment case, like, how did you commit? What did you tell yourself to make things happen? Purvi is like,
now since you're
this is how
focusing,
messages are. What are you even asking?
no, no, now when you're asking, then I'm reflecting upon and thinking कि अच्छा कुछ I maybe did given some commitment, but then from my end, to be honest, it was never very deliberate. Of course, there
Mhm.
were times when I had to trade off between my family function or hanging
Hmm.
out with cousins and doing the program and all of that. Uh, but to be honest, once I got started with the program, the bar just went high from one point to the other to the other.
Let me answer.
There was no,
I'll give you a clue of the answer because I know about you more than you do.
yeah,
See,
I do not genuinely
you are
have
a
an answer to how I committed.
you're a perfectionist, but you have converted your perfectionism into action. This is the clue, and I've seen that happening. Right from the level one of the program, then level two, and I've seen that transition happening. Right, all the rejections and stuff like that. So, like, now you tell me, like, how did you convert your perfectionism into action? What did you tell yourself?
Such specific questions I don't even have an answer to them. मतलब मैंने I genuinely I never thought about it so deliberately कि okay I have to do it, I have to commit to it. It's like this is what okay, to everyone who is here right now, for me I was in a position where I had only this to put my time into. I
Hmm,
had no college going on at that point of time, no plan B, no job, no other things.
you're
So
basically
that
removed
was a
every other
very big
distraction.
thing. No, I was lucky enough that ways
Correct.
कि I had all the time in the world to dedicate to this, and I was coupled up like few other things coupled up is that I was enjoying it every day. Like I used to look forward to the calls every month. किसी दिन if there is no call, everyone used to feel what's this day? There's nothing interesting to look forward to. There's
Correct.
no interesting conversations that go up for 6 7 hours.
Correct.
So yeah, so I was lucky in that way, guys. But anyone, I know
It
it can
seems
be very
simple.
hard for people who are juggling between two things.
No, no, no. It's actually ironical, Purvi. Let me tell you one thing. Yes, you have completely committed to this, but the point is, when people have more time in their hands, that's when they just don't do anything. If you've seen most people, right? They have a couple of things and they really prioritize time very well. But one thing which we should really learn from you, Purvi, is like she enjoyed every bit of it. Like, just let me just go. Like, it's like a playground for her. Like, go play cricket, enjoy, and come back. That's it. That's why there is no answer about. I didn't really have to commit. I'm like, yeah,
Ah,
okay,
and
let's start. let's start the cricket game.
And I never took this as a proper school program or some
Correct,
conventional training कि
correct,
ये इस दिन ये करना ही है. It's
correct,
okay if I don't feel like working today, but I knew कि this is the deadline that I have to meet. Now it's upon me. If I have taken 3 days of leave, I have to do 4 days work in one day.
correct.
I actually prepared my mind for that. So
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
actually built this habit since school and college only. Because I know, as I mentioned, I know I cannot do hard work every day. I need to
Yes.
hang out, I need to go out, I need to watch series the entire night, entire day. But then I'll prepare my mind. ठीक है,
Yeah,
आज मस्ती हो रहा है तो बी प्रिपेयर्ड, कल तुमको ज़्यादा काम करना पड़ेगा.
got
And
it.
you cannot compromise on that because I need perfect results for myself. I cannot let myself down.
Yes,
Doesn't
yes.
mean I won't fail. I can fail, but I need to have that satisfaction कि I gave my 100%.
I really remember some of these conversations, especially the exercise on one is the debate, the
Yeah,
debate on that research which you guys have done, and I
research.
think
Yeah.
you guys have like prepared very well. The other one was, I think your group, the whole conversations and debates, especially just all principles, all the confusion about what is this principle, like what do I put it over here, and things like identifying the UX behind the UI, discussing all the integrities, and uh, I think heuristics may also you guys have debated a lot, isn't it?
The root problem call.
Yes,
Going
yes. Okay, can you
analyzing.
remind me that?
So there was an assignment where we had to figure out what's the root problem.
Okay,
We debated so much. That's what I was saying. The call went on for 6-7 hours straight. Everyone took 2 hours of break,
okay.
and again at night we started at 10 or 11. It went up till 3 or 4 in the morning. Nobody felt like sleeping. It
And that
seemed
was
like
to
such a small
debate about.
workbook.
This was to debate about.
Again someone was saying nay, this is the root problem. We were debate and like the normal group discussions debate. Someone is agreeing, again I'm trying to put forward ki nahi yahi hai, you're wrong. So just the entire assignment that we had about how to get to the root problem.
This was converging on the root problems. That assignment.
I do not clearly remember the name. I think that must be the name. Like we got a scenario, we got like a lot of scenarios from where we had to get to the root problem ki what's the root problem for this scenario, why is it happening.
Okay. I think I have it here. Something like this, right?
Yes, yes, exactly this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember this. Yes, yes, yes. Ah, yes.
And still, like after spending almost 10 to 15 hours on this, still we had so many questions, so many doubts
Great.
unresolved.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, so matlab, to
Yeah.
put it out, like, and everyone else also, like, it's not that I was able to achieve whatever I did on my own. I had people around me who appreciated me,
Correct. The
who
whole
made
community.
sure I
Yes.
learn,
Correct.
because
Correct.
this is a field where you can't do anything on your own. You need people to
Yes.
broaden your ideas, to prove you wrong, to help you understand कि okay, maybe एक ये direction भी हो सकता था.
Absolutely. It becomes so important because see, one of the most straightforward reason is you do not become a designer by just downloading a lot of stuff into your brain
Yeah,
because you are in the practice of being a designer, you are in the practice of thinking design. And where does this thinking even come from? Only when you talk to people who are like
yeah,
minded, right? Who are really
yeah,
willing to talk about design, willing to talk about the mistakes, willing to critique, willing to put their opinions and
exactly.
debates, right? You debate your design opinion and they debate their
It's
design
very
opinion. It
important.
takes
It's very
hours and
important.
hours and hours. But what is really happening is all of them are exercising their design muscle. That's it. You become a
Yeah,
fitter designer,
yeah.
right?
And this
Hmm.
is what I'm realizing now also, like every day.
Yes. Yes.
It's very important. Like once you engage with other people, I'll point it out. Firstly, it helps you to sharpen your communication skills. It helps you understand how to frame what you're thinking, how to put it across so that the other person can understand you.
Hmm.
Maybe give examples, how to frame your thinking. That is
Hmm.
very important. You can think a lot of things, if you're not able to communicate it to the
Yes.
person you're talking to,
Yes.
doesn't make sense.
Correct.
Secondly, how do you explain what you're thinking?
Yes.
It's very important. So, and you will need this every day. You go to any job, any internship, you will need this every day. You
Yes.
have to make others realize कि ठीक है, मैं जो बोल रही हूँ वो भी सही है. Maybe what you are saying is better, वो भी सही है, but this is what I was thinking.
This is so important. This is so important because see, that's one perspective which I tell people, right? See, how does work happen in a company, right? If you are in a business, how does work happen in a company? The meaning of the word company itself is to work with a bunch of people. The meaning itself is bunch of people, right? So if
Exactly.
you have to get business impact, you need to know the skill of talking to other people. It's just not enough that you say, hey, you know what, I have made the best designs in the world, but I just don't care about me presenting it to anyone else or me getting the buy-in that my design works. It just doesn't work. You will need to have the skills of articulating your design, supporting your design, and also accepting feedback for it, and also going and probably taking and changing things and coming to an alignment. That's how work moves, right? And Purvi, I'm damn sure, since after all that practice and now you are really working over there, I am damn
True.
sure you see a lot of parallels right now, isn't it?
Yes, yes, yes.
Right?
So
Yeah,
yeah,
good,
we'll
good.
come.
Probably if you have a story to explain about the parallel you're seeing probably at Rapido, it'll really help us before we talk about the
Oh,
whole transition story. But yes,
yeah, like I don't can't pinpoint to a particular instance, but then I'm just saying it's an everyday thing for me right now.
yeah.
It's very important to
Give like an
communicate.
example, like some example. Probably you don't have to tell an exact thing, but some example of how you would debate probably with your manager or design peer or something like that, so that people understand the reality of how is it like a designer, right?
Yeah. Okay, so this is what
Hmm.
happened today. So
Hmm.
I'm working on
Today
some
only.
feature.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
That's the best.
I
You're
was
like, when you said today, you're not fabricating it. Awesome.
I
Yeah.
was a very very tiny example.
Yeah.
So I was working on a feature and I was asked to think about it. How will you take it in the long run? Plan out something for it, note it down so that others can, other designers who are working on other features can see how they can collaborate and use your feature that you have made.
Hmm.
Okay? I'm just giving a very surface level thing. I can't get to the nitty gritties of it.
Good, good. Yeah, yes.
So
No problem. Hmm.
I had some plan in my mind कि अच्छा इसको ऐसे 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 करेंगे. Talked to my senior. I told him कि this is what I'm planning.
Hmm.
Then he completely changed my perspective. कि
Hmm.
maybe if we approach it like this could be better. And
What are
then
you
I
showing? What are you
explained him.
showing? Did you show him something?
No, but just a thought process. Just
Huh.
abhi, I'm not getting to any design or anything. Just thought
Hmm.
level thinking. This is what I'm thinking of. This is how we can approach it, and we can plan it out.
Okay.
Uh, and then he broadened my perspective, saying ki okay, this is fine. And the best part is ki he did not tell me ki what you're thinking is wrong.
Hmm.
He told me ki okay, this is what you're thinking, but I think if we approach it in this manner, if we just, तुम ए बी बोल रहे हो, अगर हम उसको बी एंड ए के फॉर्मेट में करेंगे तो
Huh.
मे बी दैट विल बी बेटर फॉर अस.
Got it. Got
And
it.
then I again thought about it. I was like yes, I think that can be done. That is a
Hmm.
better approach.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
very tiny example. Similarly, something happened with the flow also. So I worked on an entire flow, user journey flow.
Hmm.
I had been working on it for more than 10 days.
Okay.
I was like, huh, I had an interaction with the PM also. We both discussed and we were like, yes, I think this solves the problem. This is very good. This, that. Showed it to my senior. He pointed out few other things that it
Hmm.
did not occur to me at that point of time.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
another important thing is how you take sort of
Absolutely.
failures, right? Ki I worked on it for almost 2 weeks, and then I was like, oh, I was actually surprised. Ki, oh wow, why didn't I think about this use case?
Yeah.
This can even, and that's why that person is a senior designer. That's because of the experience that he has,
Absolutely.
right? वो few things जो हमें बहुत easily नहीं आ पाता है, that comes after experience. It's not that
And
वो,
how
and I
did
don't
that
blame
person get
myself
the
for it.
experience? No, no, the point is very straightforward. Here, Purvi, that person built that experience because of being like you right now, right? Like in
Yes.
2 years down the line, you accepting these critics, having these multiple perspectives and having these debates is what will make you experience design, right? That is what you will put in out there, right? That's when your thinking really broadens up, right? And yeah, I mean, you see how all this
And it's
relates to
not
all
that he
those.
just told me कि इसको ऐसे करो ऐसे मत करो. I we actually spent around 45 minutes to 1 hour. I kept explaining कि नहीं मैंने इसको इसीलिए किया है. And he was like
Correct.
नहीं इसको ऐसे भी कर सकते हो. But I was like नहीं ऐसे करेंगे तो ये प्रॉब्लम होगा. So I thankfully have that room here where I can discuss with my seniors very openly. They
Correct.
are also
And I
very
bet
open
your
to
senior
what I am.
will be willing to say this. We are on live as well, but your senior will be willing to say this. See, I'm telling you, as any experienced designer, they cannot really talk and have debates with people who don't understand stuff or who,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And if they're like, or if all I have to do is just tell something and they'll just simply do it and do not argue, then as a senior designer, I just won't enjoy having a discussion at all, right? It is only with a person who will bring in their perspectives, on one side present their arguments, on the other side also accept and see, how is it going to work, right, and bring a balance. And I think Purvi does this very well, right? And I'm damn
No,
sure.
actually, so today was a very stressful day for me. So
Okay.
I too black out at some point. Ki matlab my brain just shuts. Like so many things have come up. So
Yes.
I just sit and I just think. Ki, and
Hmm.
think as in at times I'm blank. I don't know what to think.
Correct.
But
Yes.
it's the point is it you need to understand that's okay. You need to feel ki
Absolutely.
theek hai.
The more senior you become, then you will be facing more of these blanks, right? Because
Yeah.
there's more load you're taking, right? Now you know more. Now you know more constraints. Now you start getting more ideas on one side and more constraint on the other side. It's basically like
Exactly.
pushing the double diamond like this,
Ideas
and then it just
आइडियाज एंड वो एज केसेस साइड बाय साइड चल रहा है.
correct, correct.
That's why
Both
it can't be a
divergences and
linear
convergence
process.
happening at once. Yeah.
Yeah, it can't be linear.
Yeah.
That's why we say it.
Correct,
कि
correct.
that's how our
Yes.
mind works.
Yep,
So
yep, yep. Awesome. So this is really amazing, and I'm really happy. I mean, see, there's nothing more proud for someone like a mentor like me when I see things coming in real life, right? I mean, I see like, okay, that day you had a fight with me for putting you in a difficult situation for that assignment, but look how it is helping you in this scenario today in your company, right? That day you were like you're working on this group mega project or something, and then I'm like 2 weeks of effort. I'm like, guys, none of this is working, and then
even for the group assignment, it happened. We
yes.
made something, we presented it to you, and you were like, "What is this? What have you done?"
No, no,
And
it
from
was
that
just a
one
simple.
feedback, so much changed. The entire project changed. I would say the
Correct,
entire interface changed from the insights that you gave.
correct. If it was simple, it's not working. It would have been like I'm like going micro into everything and like no, 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 this is not working. This has to change. What is this? Right, and all that really builds you up as a person, right? And when you're built up as a person, you see yourself happily doing this very well in the industry, right? And that's the point which I want to bring in front of all of you. That is, you don't get a UX designer's job by having an amazing portfolio or just by having great Figma files and stuff like that. All that is required, but you will become a UX designer only if you become a designer. You have to become that person, right? You have the ability to think like this. You have the ability to take feedback. You can fight. You can do all this. When you become this person, that is when the industry will automatically select you, right? Because they can sense it. They're not fools sitting out there like all the recruiters, all of them. They're not fools sitting out there like, oh wow, what an amazing portfolio over here, great, let me hire. That's just a starting point, right? What they hire is a person, not your portfolio, right? They hire you as a person. So focus on becoming the person first, right? And
Yes.
absolutely, that has always been our focus, right? Okay, now Purvi, I think we really need to talk about, you know, what happened. Okay, fine. You've done all this, you've built a portfolio, but then what? I think this is the biggest question most people have. Like I have a portfolio, I have everything, but
No,
how do I
so I'll tell you.
translate it? Yeah, come on.
Making portfolio was also not easy.
Okay, okay. Yep. Let's
I
start
am
with it. How did
also
you make a
someone who
portfolio? Yeah, yeah, yeah,
procrastinates a
yeah. I
lot.
remember this. Yes. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yes, 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 yes.
कोर्स खत्म हो गया, ग्रेजुएशन डे हो चुका है. I got my certificate, I got the award also. I did not start my portfolio making journey till then, to be
By the
honest.
way, I think I need to show that. Purvi was one of the people who won all the three awards. So she got this product design prodigy award for having like very good exceptional work in her, her portfolio and her capstone project, and then team MVP award for being amazing in the community, right? And dependable award for staying on time, doing everything. Though ironically, she's not talking about the time she took for building a portfolio because award to mil gaya, right? And she got like beautiful recommendation also, personal note, right? So, but yeah, proud of you, Purvi, on this.
Thank you. Thank you so
But
much.
yes, so yeah, then what happened?
So I had to really like, at that point of time I had to like really force myself कि नहीं, बहुत बहुत मस्ती हो गया है. It's time to get serious. uh,
Yeah,
all these projects won't make sense until and unless I make a portfolio out of, because you feel so overwhelmed. You see so many portfolios around you, you see so many designers,
yeah,
and the same question, where do I even start from? I was at the same place कि इतना सब है. I do not know what to put in my portfolio. I had
yes,
projects, but
yeah,
how do I show my personality in my portfolio? How, what to show? Should I make it very fancy? Should I make it very simple? And due to all those questions, I just kept delaying it till mid
correct,
of March.
correct. Yeah.
Right? So I clearly remember, I think 11th or 12th of March, I started working on my portfolio.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
cried. I don't know what to do. I don't know what where to start. Literally cried. Then thankfully, I sat down one day, write down everything. I just took a pen and a paper, write down
Hmm.
everything about myself,
Hmm.
random things, right from my journey, whatever I know, and all of that. Then I figured out ki what all things can I mention in my portfolio. Needed to keep it very brief. All those were
Hmm.
not something that I wanted to put out in the portfolio, just for my own understanding ki acha, now I have certain clarity of what all skills do I need to show, why sociology to, because this
Hmm.
story, I think this transition story is very important. In my
Very
case, I do
important.
not come
Yes.
from a design school, so I
Correct.
need to explain why sociology, why sociology to product design, what all skills do I bring, do I have.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I sat down, worked
Hmm.
on that. I chose
Yes.
Bento as the platform and started making my resume. So
Hmm.
again, a disclaimer: whatever portfolio you see of mine right now is maybe the 20th or 25th or 30th iteration. It did not look like this initially. So every day I would open it, see ki acha, this is not looking nice. Okay, there's a spelling mistake. This could be in this capital case and all of that. But it's
Same
very
point.
important to
Question.
get the first version done.
Yes. Yes.
Then you keep iterating. You need to begin somewhere. It's very
This
easy
is
to
something
keep
which is really, really,
procrastinating.
really important, right? Because that's the biggest misconception. We never start building our portfolio because obviously the first version I built is going to get me selected or rejected, right?
Yeah.
Right. That's a very big misconception we have, right? Because of which we just don't start, right? I mean, even in content creation they say the same thing, right? I mean, don't worry about your first
Yes.
video, just make it, right? At volume, probably your 100th video is going to be much better, your 100th post is going to be much better, right? You post today, you're just going to get one like. Why are you so worried about it, right? The same way you make your first version of a portfolio, you're shouting out there, nobody will be looking at your portfolio at that point of time, right? So this is really, really important, guys. Just put that damn thing out there, like whatever you think you are. One is whatever transition, whatever you have done, right? That is one thing. Second, simple decisions. I remember having this conversation with you, Purvi, at that point of time about yeah,
Yeah.
kya karna hai, like just write decisions. Actually, you should talk about it. But my advice, guys, You've taken some decisions as a part of your projects. Just dump them. Write about those small decisions. You don't even have to write extensive stories. You can do all that later. Take some examples, take some decisions which you have taken as a part of the project, dump them, right? Speak about it, Purvi, and I'll also show your the case study which you have written with some of the decisions which you have put. I think I'll show that once you speak about it. I think people will be really inspired by the way you actually wrote your case study at that point of time.
Should I speak about the case study or the process of building the portfolio?
I think first you talk about the way you have put the things in your case study, how you present it, and then how did
Okay.
you put that together and build your portfolio? Because
Yeah.
frankly speaking, your portfolio is just a collection of all that, so that people
All
quickly
the
can reach your
exactly.
case study,
Huh.
right? And
Yes.
that's one
Yes.
more learning will come there. But actually, I
Yeah.
think you should talk about the way you decided to jot down and present what should be there in your case study, right? Instead of like 100 things which you have done, right?
Yes.
Please do speak, and I think I'll just quickly share my screen and show some of these things over here.
So yeah, for case studies, I would say, since you always emphasized, and we also had a group case study, so I knew ki, okay, mentioning decisions will be very important for it.
Correct.
So while I was working on the projects only, I kept a note of, okay, this is the decision I'm taking, maybe this is what I can add. So my mind was working simultaneously ki, okay, this is the project, but I do need to document whatever I'm doing because I'll forget by the end of it.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
Now the time
Hmm.
was how to weave it into a story.
Correct. Correct.
So it was very important. I just wanted user ki they should not put their heads whenever they read my story, like
Hmm.
whenever they
Hmm.
read my case study. They should
Yeah.
come, and the case study should unravel itself in a way that they keep understanding things one after the other.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And of course they are here to see what I have worked on, what's the product. So that was the first thing. This is the problem I'm tackling, this is
Hmm.
what I've built. Now let's go backwards and see how I built it, because if they do not have interest in my product, they will never read why I built
Absolutely.
something,
Absolutely. Right.
right?
And that's what you like. If I can see over here, is just simple stories of how you have like approached your design, like very contrary to a lot of people's expectation that a UX case study should have this bound UX process. It has to have start with research, card sorting, affinity mappings, and stuff like that. All bullshit, guys. I'm telling you. All you need to really talk about is the
Yeah.
design decisions and the story of your decisions. And look at how beautifully she has presented. Like, I mean, but Purvi, I love you to speak probably about an example which we can see here.
Yes. So throughout the process only I was documenting every small decision that I was taking, and
Correct.
from those decisions I took, I think, top 3 or top 4 that I thought are like major decisions.
Correct.
Because major decisions related to the problem I was solving, not some random decisions. I did not put any random decisions. Ki
Yes.
why I chose this icon, why I chose that icon, that does not matter at this point. But yeah, if
Proper
I'm
product
building this
related
feature,
decisions, right?
yeah, if I'm
Yes.
building this feature, why this? And here itself I have given both, why product decisions and why I chose to uh, put the UI like this. So
Correct.
it's a mixture of
On top
both.
of it, validation as well, right? Because you have done
Yes.
usually
Yes.
testing as a part of this, and like how you
Huh.
started making changes, right?
Yes. So the point, because if you keep writing कि अच्छा peer review से ये मिला, इससे ये मिला, इससे ये मिला, the story will never come together.
Correct.
You
Correct.
pick
Correct.
one topic and you mention everything related to it. कि this
Yes.
is what I wanted to do. Then I thought I should do this. Then I did peer review. उससे ये learning मिला, and then I this was the final thing. So it just comes together for someone who
Correct.
is reading it.
Absolutely.
So
That's the
that's
point, right?
the
We totally do not understand recruiters, right? We just think that they are machines sitting out there. No, dude. I mean, people who are hiring you are also people. They also want to be entertained. They want you to tell stories in an engaging manner. So they also want to understand. They also want to focus. If you don't guide them, if you don't make things engaging for them and just bore them with a lot of things sitting in your case studies, just doing a bunch of supposed to do, I'll take a case study template and I'll just put everything in this template because supposedly it worked for someone. They're absolutely bored. All it takes is an engaging story, right? And a story is literally, I'm telling you this very simple trick, guys. All of you face a lot of difficulties while you do your UX projects. Note down those difficulties. I call them as ambiguities. How did you solve those ambiguities? What are the other variations you thought about? You came up with multiple iterations, talk about those iterations. Why you thought something worked, why you thought something doesn't work, you put all those pros and cons and stuff like that. Right? Let us say you've done some research, let us say you've done some validation, you have spoken to some users, or you've done usability testing, or you've spoken to PS. Write about that, and what is the clarity you got before and after, what did you change because of that? Simple, done. Right? Three stories like that, your case study is finished. Katham. Tata. Bye bye.
And that
Right.
those stories are exactly what you did in the
Correct.
process.
Correct.
You're
And
just
that's
jotting it
even more
down.
beautiful, right? Because that is exactly what you did. It's not like you are fabricating your UX process backwards from someone who is going to come and hire you. You're not going to fabricate, hey, you know what? Because many people have this misconception. Just like, right, you know what? If I'm becoming UX designer, I need to do UX process and I have to do my project in a process which will help me get hired. No, Baba, this is not a manufacturing process. UX doesn't come out of manufacturing industries like that, right? It you talk about what you did. That's it. That's what will get you hired. You took some decisions, you took some design decisions, you had an initial hypothesis and you iterated over it, and probably use some research or your own thoughts. Write about it. That's it. Right? This is a beautiful
And I
example.
would say,
Yep.
not even from recruiters' point of view, even us as learners, whenever we read
Yes.
so many case studies, I always
Hmm.
notice that you are always curious to know, okay, this person did this, but why that person did this? How did they arrive at that decision?
Correct.
We
Correct.
as learners also always look for those answers,
Correct. Correct. Correct.
and we want answers in our case studies. It's as simple as that.
Purvi, I think this is a perfect time for you to probably jump and talk about, because I remember this having this conversation, right? I mean, how this particular decisions, what you have written, how it helped in the interview, right? Because I think people really want to see the result of all this effort, right? And the power of this approach, right? Why don't you just throw some light over there? What when when your Rapido interview was happening? So do you have a story to tell about what happened in your portfolio round, or like when they actually looked
Yeah,
at your
two,
project? Yeah.
three, yeah, two, three instances. So
Hmm.
first was the whiteboarding session before
Hmm.
we
Hmm.
went to the portfolio and explanation of the case studies and all of that. So
Okay.
whiteboarding also, to be honest, it came very naturally to me because of
Hmm.
all the practice that we did.
Okay.
Got a problem statement, and the same thing, I forgot that that person is a senior or a recruiter or some senior product designer.
Hmm.
I talked to her as if she's my friend, kept asking questions, what if this, what will we do in this case? And that's what she noticed as well. That ठीक है UI
Correct.
tool skills and वो सब तो ठीक है. She has the capability of thinking like a
Correct.
designer. So that was the
Yes.
first primary thing.
Very
Now
good.
coming to the case study. So case study में I asked the recruiter
Hmm.
कि what would you like to see first? Do you want to
Hmm.
see the solution
Hmm.
or what?
Hmm.
Showed the prototype. Okay, this was the problem statement. This is the prototype. This is how I solved
Hmm.
it.
Hmm.
Now I from myself from my own only I hopped on to the decisions. I said ki, okay, these are the decisions I took in the process.
Correct.
So I explained whatever I have written because my case study also it's very detailed out. It's very easy
Correct.
to understand step by step. I just showed her ki this was my previous plan. I
Hmm.
thought of making this card like this, and but then through research, through peer
Correct.
review, and my own understanding, uh, I took some time to reflect upon it, and I thought ki because of so and so reason, I changed it to this.
Correct.
So I exactly sort of explained whatever I've written in my case study, but of course in a very short manner, so
Hmm.
that it
Hmm.
doesn't get very lengthy for the recruiter.
Correct. Correct.
So,
Hmm. Good. Good.
so
I was
yes, I
just.
think it's
Ah.
also necessary to we can
Hmm.
I we can directly ask the recruiter what do they want to see. So they also
Which is
feel
which
ki
is very
okay,
insightful, right? Which is very insightful because generally people do not show any empathy to recruiters at all. Like, okay, case study presentation, this is supposed to be like this, so I will start with a boring presentation. Let me start. I won't care about what you want to see. I won't care about what you will
no, they do
ask,
not.
but I will
Yeah,
start.
they don't have all the time in the world to go through your entire case study. Of course you need to be clear कि अच्छा मुझे ये तो दिखाना ही है. ये तो दिखाना ही है.
Correct.
Yeah, you have to be smart at this point. Ki, okay, I want to show that I do have these skills, but at the same time I want to keep it short. I want to also show ki you tell me what do you want to see, and in the
Exactly.
process while explaining that, we tell them ki acha we took this decisions, and this is the many component library that I built for this project. If you have the time, also focus upon few tool skills that you have.
Absolutely. This is so important, guys. I'm telling you that. See, first, we recruiter doesn't really have a lot of time, and you need to understand interview itself is a trust building process, right? If they had so much time, they would probably work with you for a long time and take a decision, right? That much time is not there, so they'll have to trust you with whatever you're talking about, right? So since it's anyway trust building, you will have to really pick and choose what you want to talk about, what gives a very, very good story about yourself, right? But this one thing, the one mistake people do is, oh, anyway, they don't have time, so I'll just write a 2 minute case study, right? And all I'll do is know about myself for 2 minutes. No, you write down everything what you know, right? But you show very less. You pick and choose whatever stories you want to tell basis the context, basis whatever is going on out there, the kind of stories they want to listen, right? In fact, you can ask like what Purvi has asked, what do you want to see? And probably they'll say, hey, you know what, why don't you talk about some of the difficult decisions you have made, like somewhere where even this made sense, that made sense, and how did you come up with a decision? They might sometimes themselves tell you like focus probably only on this part, and you can then say, okay, awesome, let me go to that part of the project and show you that part. And even something as small as like one or two projects, one or two decisions out of these projects can give very good amount of trust that okay, given a good problem, given this whole thing, she will be able to work towards, even if I have not looked at her entire project, entire portfolio, every part of it. I trust from some of the two examples she has given, she has good thought process, she can work like a good designer, right? And added to that, she can also execute, right? That's why Puri is saying also showcase tool skills out there, right? Please don't have this misconception UX is just about making a bunch of wireframes, doing research and leaving like that. If you see in the portfolio, everything, if you see over here, everything was translated directly onto screens, because your users will have experience on the screens, right? Every research, everything, every decision has been translated onto the screens, and that's why this format of presentation is really, really important, right? And I want you also to understand this, that you need to make sure that you showcase your execution skills as well. Please showcase your tool skills, show how efficient you are with the tools, how well you are with design systems and like style guides. Please have a showcase of all that, and make sure you utilize their time very well with good empathy, right? Awesome. So yeah,
One
so
one thing I
yes, go ahead.
remember clearly,
Yes.
I actually
Huh.
got this direct question during the interview.
Hmm.
What's the design process you
Okay.
followed
Hmm.
for this project?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, go ahead. Yeah, please go.
I asked ki what exactly I asked what exactly do you mean by a design process? Because of
Yeah,
course they couldn't see it in my case study mentioned
correct,
anywhere
correct,
that it's double
correct.
diamond or what. Then I told her ki okay, I primarily focused on double diamond process, but again it was not a very
Hmm.
linear process.
Hmm.
It was of course broadening to a lot of problems, then
Correct,
narrowing down with the problems, and then solutions, and so
correct,
on and so forth.
correct,
So I did actually got this question, ki which
correct,
design process you followed, and
correct.
this is how I
The,
tackled
the
it.
thing is, it's a very confusing question for a lot of people, because they say when someone asks what is the design process, they think that I need to answer it basis a template. I need to take a process or a misunderstood as a framework. If you take a framework, and I need to go and say that I have followed it, even though I have not followed it, right? But the question should be not be misunderstood like that. The question should be understood as what did you do? What was your process? What was your decision making framework? If some situation comes like this, how did you decide? Right? See, even double diamond, what does it really mean? What double diamond literally says, make sure you diverge, make sure you converge. That's
Converse,
it.
yeah.
No, right? Ultimately, double diamond will come out of whatever you have done. Like most design decisions are like that. You want to think about ideas for, let us say, in her project, you have to build a shopping chat. So now you have 10 ideas for going and building a chat, right? And then out of which you have selected one type of a chat. So what happened here? She diverged to 10 types of chat ideas and then converged to one because of few decisions. That's what has happened, right? And literally that is what a decision is. A decision about you diverging to multiple ideas or you converging to one particular idea. That's exactly what you do as a designer. can be explained through a framework called double diamond, right? So when someone asks you about a design process, just don't simply say, huh, yes, 3 days I did first stage empathize, second stage I did define, third stage I did prototype. Don't give these answers, right? You do not, that's not what they're expecting. What they're expecting is, out of whatever you did, can you tell me in such a way that I understand? Can you tell me where all you diverged? Can you tell me where all you converged? Can you tell me where all you ideated? Can you tell me where all you tested? That's it. That's what it means. You tell about them, that's your process,
Yep.
right? I mean,
One
it
more.
is, yeah, go ahead, yeah.
No, so you can complete.
It's
Sorry.
so obvious for all of us, right? Because we keep having these conversations on a daily basis for a year.
Yeah.
You keep hearing me, process doesn't mean templated process.
Yeah. To
Go ahead.
I
Yeah,
just remembered an instance. So for
yeah.
the mega project, you of course give us few deadlines,
Hmm.
and you pen down a simpler process
Hmm.
for us. Ki okay, you can
Hmm.
spend so and so days in that. I did
Correct,
not even follow that.
correct.
When you asked us to do secondary research, I already started working on the screens.
Correct,
So
correct.
that's how I behaved even with the plan that you gave us.
Yes,
That was
this clearly comes with a disclaimer. You
also
can
not
choose to
linear phase. I worked.
completely, yes, you can choose to completely throw this away and have your own
Yes.
approach. You know, that yesterday I was having this call with some of the current batch, and I'm like, guys, you are worried about all this, but look at what I've written over here. You are free to choose whatever you want to do and dismiss this entire framework which I have given. Because that's when you really become a designer, when you own your own process, when you take your own decisions, and you know the best as a designer about how you want to get into good design, to make good design. You take those decisions. That's when you become a good designer, not if you just follow a templated process.
Because it can never be like, okay, I'll do research. Now I have a good understanding. You will never have a concrete understanding, and you
Correct.
will never have that understanding कि okay अभी समझ आ गया अब UI करना है. It has to go side by side, hand
Has
in
to go
hand.
side by side. You always have a version of UI. You always
Yes.
keep validating it. You always keep iterating it, and that's exactly what you can
Yes.
guys can see
Yes.
in her case study also, right? This is my first
Yeah.
version. Before even researching, before even doing anything, this is what I think is
Yeah.
it, right? And
Yes.
then you're like,
Yes.
okay, let me talk to a few people, no problem. Then I got these ideas, change it. Then I go and went and tested this prototype. Then I got a few ideas. Then I went and spoke to my peers. Then I went and spoke to my mentor and got it reviewed. All these things are leading to iterations. But at this point, if you snatch away my paper, like if I call this an examination, if I snatch away my paper, I have a version of UI already ready with me,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Beautiful, Purvi. I think it's no surprise for me to do the first live session with you, because you're like, whatever the heart of what the mentor wants to say, like, Purvi has captured it and obviously can get very good results. Then there's no doubt about it. I had no doubt at all, right?
You did not. I still had a lot of self doubts and crying session as to what will I do in life. I had confidence that okay, I know stuff. I was at a position where I knew कि कुछ तो आता है मुझे.
Correct,
But then
correct.
of course until and unless you get real life validations, you do not accept those qualities of yours. So yes, coming
Let's
back
do
to
one thing.
how the
Let us
huh,
snap back to the stage where everything is uncertain. Portfolio is ready. Okay, you have made a portfolio. Oh, by the way, you're talking about how
yeah.
did you collate your portfolio after you made this case study. You finish that and then we'll go to that question. So you made all
That's
this case study and then
I already mentioned that. Yeah, I just kept all my procrastination and everything aside. Sat down one day, I was like, I have to get it done. And
one day is a
I
dog.
have two, three people in my life who like keep pushing me.
Correct.
So they are like, you have 2 days of time, do your portfolio, otherwise we'll stop talking to you. So that was
ऐसा
also
होना चाहिए यार.
one.
I mean, build these, like, like that's the beauty of the community, right? I mean, you have a community, at least you will build these, like, these kind of friendships. Like, let us build toxic friendship. If I don't work, you stop talking to me. If you don't work, I'll stop talking to you. But since our friendship needs to stay, let's work towards it.
अगर ठीक है जो भी हो रहा है आई हैव 2 days of time, आई नीड
Correct.
टू पुट आउट समथिंग, जस्ट मेक फर्स्ट वर्जन ऑफ इट.
Correct.
ठीक है
Correct.
अब तो made the resume, wrote whatever I thought was relevant at that moment,
And the portfolio is just simple, right? I mean,
taught us
the point
how
about your
to work on all
portfolio
those
is,
things. It's
Most
simple,
people make
yeah.
this mistake, right? Like make very, very fancy website, this, that. Not required.
You shouldn't do
Just
that. You
you make
should
one.
never do that. That can backfire very easily.
Yeah,
It's very
do you have any
necessary to
story
keep
for
it
that?
as simple. I can't share. But I have
Okay,
seen how it works. You make a framer website with a template, straight away rejected. I'm telling you.
yes.
Framer, Notion, nothing matters,
No,
but
it's
should
not
be
really
very
about the
clear.
tool. It's not really about the tool, right? I mean, obviously your website is also on
Yeah,
Framer, but the point is, guys, I mean, Framer, Bento, I think, you're like, whatever
mentor,
you use.
mentor.
See, the tool doesn't matter. I'll tell you what's the philosophy which is happening here, right? Where is your, let me just please share your portfolio, right? See, what matters in your portfolio is people need to see your work. They need to find your work. You're a UX designer, you're a product designer, so they need to see your UX work. That's what they need to get to, right? If there's a recruiter who's looking for that, right? They don't want to sit and waste time looking at a lot of animations, right? See, you want to
Yes.
become a great web designer who can do crazy animations. Awesome, do it in your website, right? And get hired for that. Whenever I look at those kind of websites where people have wonderful portfolio animations and stuff, I'm like, awesome, dude. I Can you please do these animations? I actually have this certain project. I'll hire you as a web designer who can do animations, but I won't hire you for your UX work because I can't even get there because all these animations are already disturbing me, right? It's very simple. All you need to do is, as soon as people land on your portfolio, they can clearly and directly go and look at your work. That's it. Simple, right? They click and directly get into your work. So right now working at Rapido, and whatever is happening, like one project about Rapido is there. That's it. Direct. Not even 2 seconds spent on animations loading or anything like that. Just directly you go to your work, right? And that's it. And you know what? How much time does it take to build this portfolio, right? 2 hours. Purvi, how much time does it take to actually collate everything which you already have to build a bento, or probably a link tree, or Zap bio, or
Very
probably even dump everything on
within
Notion? How much time
within
does
a
it take?
day.
Within a day,
Within
like
a day, half day. 2 days. In 2 days, I was done with the first version of my portfolio.
yes, I would say just give yourself 1 hour or 2 hours, dump everything,
Yeah,
show it to someone, make
yeah.
iterations, and in 2 days you will have a very, very decent first version of your portfolio,
Yes,
literally,
yes, yes.
right? Awesome. Okay, so let's continue. Let's go and snap back to this question. Purvi, portfolio है, सब है, क्या करना है? What to do now? What is this? Like, looks like very overwhelming. Many people standing in the line
Yes,
over there.
it's
Anudeep
very
keeps
overwhelming.
saying you will become a designer. You are a good designer and stuff like that. But what is happening? What do I do? So come on, how did you navigate that? How did you get the leads? Right? How did you make things happen?
Apply, apply, apply.
Come on, go ahead. Please tell
Keep
us your
applying.
story.
So I just
Hmm.
I was on LinkedIn for the entire day. I dished Instagram, everything. I was like, "ठीक है, high time. I'm done with my portfolio. Let me start applying." Updated my LinkedIn also with relevant information. Updated my bio and all of that. Uh, so I think you also need to look into few other details. What kind of picture you're putting across, because that's the first impression that a recruiter will have of you. Do not put any shabby picture on your portfolio. I'll suggest, yeah, because it's literally the first impression. It's literally people see your picture and they imagine, okay, ये ऐसा इंसान होगा, ये ऐसा vibe होगा. That's the reality. That's how
Yeah,
we also function. We look at the picture and we judge.
correct.
So you need to make sure you have good portfolio, good picture, and all of that. I literally just started applying to whatever entry level openings I was getting.
Hmm. Hmm.
Applied to I think 30, 35 places.
Okay.
सुबह का every day I used to wake up, routine used to be the same. I couldn't sleep at nights. I was just thinking of this कि okay यहाँ apply करना है and all of that.
Hmm.
This process was actually literally this: apply, apply, apply.
Hmm.
Then after 10 of all the companies that I applied to, of course I used to research about the company, what is it about, will I be actually interested in working here. बट हाँ
Okay.
वो इतना ऑप्शन है नहीं एट दिस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम कि आप चूज करो कहाँ काम करना है. So
Hmm.
you still apply कि at least I'll get an interview call, at least I'll
Ah.
get some experience.
Hmm. Hmm.
But yes, again I also had that clarity कि I can take my time, but I do not want to work at a place where I don't connect with the product. I do not know just
Good
for the
match.
sake of a job. I do not want to work because I was a fresher, and if my initial experience is ruined,
Hmm.
I might just start doubting my own skills, doubting
Correct.
myself, doubting the entire product design industry.
Correct.
So it is
Correct.
very important. Even if you get an interview, you also should have certain set of questions ready with yourself that you need to ask to the
Absolutely.
recruiter.
I remember
Based on
having
that, you
a
can judge.
conversation as well about you questioning the, like, when the interview starts, the interview is two-sided, right? It's not just one-sided. Don't just think that they are interviewing you, but you are also interviewing them. Just like think of it like a date, right? So very insightful. What before you talk about how you landed the interview with Rapido, what was your attitude when you saw people not responding, no reply, no like what happened? Like please tell it, because that's, I think that's the burning feeling which most people have, like.
I think, yeah, of course, I was very stressed.
Hmm.
uh, I did not know कि मतलब कब होगा क्या होगा, a lot of instability in life, a lot of
Hmm.
uncertainty कि when will
Hmm.
this happen. And of
Correct.
course we hear stories of people where they tried for 3 months, 4 months. Again, I don't actually,
But it
I
takes
would
time.
say,
It actually takes time.
yeah, but I don't know how, I was maybe lucky enough, fortunate enough
Hmm.
that, again, please don't idealize this, ऐसा नहीं होता है, but I was lucky enough कि मेरे साथ हुआ कि 13th, I remember 13th of March, I was applying to a lot of places, and out of all the companies, Rapido was the only company I knew of.
Huh.
कि okay, I've used the app and it's a big company and all of that.
Hmm.
Again, I saw a UX research intern ka post on
Hmm.
LinkedIn.
Okay.
I read through the entire post.
Hmm.
At last, there was a one liner: we are also looking for product design interns.
Okay. Okay.
They did not intern. It was a UX researcher intern.
Hmm. Hmm.
So from there, there was also the details of the HR who was hiring for it. I
Huh.
applied through the link also. I mailed it to the HR also. And while
Hmm.
applying also, I was just laughing कि कहाँ ही होगा रैपिडो में, no chance. Who will hire me? Big companies need design degree, they need design background and all of that.
Hmm.
And I actually heard a lot of things like this from my school seniors who are now
Okay.
designers who did their course from NIFT. तो they blatantly told me कि सिर्फ निफ्ट के बच्चों को ही मिलता है, सिर्फ
हाँ,
निफ्ट के बच्चों को,
उनसे
हाँ।
नहीं हो पाएगा।
तो
Like,
वो, हाँ, तो वो डर तो बहुत था,
yeah.
but my friend was like, you just apply, let it be. So
Yeah.
on 26th of March, I think I got a call from the HR that your portfolio has been selected for the next round. And it
Hmm.
was an internship opportunity, it was not a
Correct.
full-time opportunity.
Correct.
तो वो कॉल सुन के पहले मेरा तो लाइक व्हाट, आर यू इवन सीरियस,
But
इज दिस नॉट अ स्कैम कॉल.
just a pause there. You said, look at how she never takes anything easily. She'll get go into the details. Right? I mean, it was the research opportunity, but there's that one last line we're also looking for
Yeah.
product experts.
Yeah.
Right?
And of course,
You
because
still do
I
it.
was very desperate ki UX related, because I also somewhat like research a lot.
Correct?
Of course, end to end चीज तो मजा आता ही है कि you do
Hmm.
everything,
Hmm.
screens and all. But I was like, ठीक है, let's just explore.
Correct?
It's a good company, even if there's a UX researcher role, let's just see. So
Hmm.
I read the
Hmm.
entire thing, and usme I got to see कि we are hiring for product designer. Yeah, but then, yeah, within 10 to 15 days, I received a call from the HR that your profile is selected. And the hiring process was quite
Hmm.
quick.
Okay.
Uh,
What actually
yeah, it
happened?
was 26th, I got a call from the HR.
Hmm.
20, 28th was my, I think 27th or 28th of March, some.
Hey, forget
It
dates,
was
second.
my,
You're talking like a history
huh,
textbook.
it was the first, they
Akbar
told me
picked this
that.
that day. Like, who cares about the dates?
So the first round of interview happened
Yeah.
with the senior product designer, and the meeting was scheduled, so I got to know the name of the person. I
Okay.
went to the LinkedIn, पूरा उसका background search किया कि अच्छा, this is the person who will be taking my interview.
Hmm.
ये background है, comes from a very renowned design school, two design schools, not even one.
Hmm.
So of course I was very scared. I also
Yeah,
saw the
definitely.
designer's portfolio.
You keep saying, "Hey, I was lucky, I was lucky." It is not. It is very clearly visible, right? Because you're putting effort at every stage. You're like 30 companies I'm applying, 30 or 13 or whatever. Like, okay, why did I get rejected? Like, probably what? Like, can this company work? Like, what is the background of this particular company? Are they also looking for product? Like, you are in this constant pursuit. Like, you're not really giving up there. Like, because a lot of people, like, okay, 10 companies, forget 10 companies, there are students who have come and cried after applying to one company. Anudeep, you said my portfolio is great, but this company rejected me as if the entire world is ready to hire you.
I think I was never very overconfident or hopeful कि अच्छा मैंने apply किया तो मुझे मिल ही जाएगा. Rather I always thought कि
Yes,
apply करते हैं, let's see what happens. And also one thing to I'll like to say is, it's not that I completed the portfolio in 2 days and started applying. Till the last day I
hmm,
kept iterating my portfolio.
correct,
Thankfully the link automatically updates, so I
correct.
kept iterating कि ये changes है. Every day I would open this, I will look into other portfolios. I'll see कि अच्छा, this is something that I like in someone else's portfolio. How can I incorporate that into my portfolio? How can I show? How can I make it simpler for the recruiter to understand? This is the person. This is what she's saying. ये contact है. These are the projects, and done. Just
Yes,
make it extremely simple for some, because at that point of time the only focus is to get the interview call, because of course I know companies get so many applications.
correct.
To even get highlighted over there is very big task. I knew once
By
I
the
get
way,
the interview,
how did
it's
your
on
thing
me.
pan out? Did you get to hear anything later about why did they select, why did they shortlist your portfolio, anything like that? Did you hear anything about that?
I did so. It's not that they were hiring only from LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
So again, my seniors belong to design schools, so they
Hmm.
also posted on their design groups
Hmm.
to get referrals from their junior batches and all of that.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
But they also went through all the LinkedIn entries that they
Available.
got,
Okay.
and it was
Huh.
purely based on the entry that they got. So they liked the profile and they contacted.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah.
Fine. Okay. I mean, it's kind of very obvious. I mean, they look at the way you put down all your decisions and like it's legit work. It's very straightforward. Okay, awesome. Anyway, so you're talking about that. You're also researching about the person who is about to interview and stuff.
Yes.
Like, yeah, continue then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thankfully I also got uh, the person's portfolio. I read through it to know
Okay.
everything I can about that person.
Oh, you like that
To
person's portfolio, design portfolio.
huh,
Oh, now, oh, this is a
I
good
got
trick.
that also.
The people
Matlab, I
respect
tried
the
to
pursuit you
have
are doing.
as
Yeah.
much understanding of the person who is interviewing me as possible. Ki sab.
Nice.
And
Like,
simultaneously I was also
you are
researching
talking
about
about these things
Rapido.
in your portfolio. This is the way you are thinking. So therefore, let me build a conversation this way. Very interesting.
हाँ, मतलब you have this again. You can have some assumptions. You can have your own hypothesis of how that person might be.
Correct.
It can
Correct.
be true, it can be false, but what's the harm in knowing whatever सामने है information तो ले लो ना. कहीं से नहीं मिल रहा है तो it's fine. So yeah, and
Wonderful.
simultaneously I already had used Rapido in my college days a lot, but it's not available in my hometown. I was in my hometown at that point of time. I reinstalled Rapido. I saw what the app is doing right now, navigated through it, and all of that. Just a basic understanding of the app's current version.
Got it. Got it.
So
Any so after that, like any highlights of some of the discussions you had with these people? Like what?
so the first round of interview happened,
Hmm.
and I did not know. Thankfully, I had a pen and paper with me. I did
Okay.
not know कि अच्छा ये whiteboarding session है या क्या है, because there's, to be honest, there's nothing to, at that point of time you can't prepare anything. You don't know
Right.
what to prepare.
Yes.
I
Yes.
just skimmed through my entire portfolio, skimmed through all the case studies, ki whatever I have written, at least I should be thorough with my own case studies. Did that, practiced that, what all should I speak. Did my introduction thing ki, of course the person will ask me to introduce myself.
Your
उसमें क्या क्या highlight करना है.
preparation is the person you have become. Your preparation is not what you do in the last minute.
Yeah.
Right? Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, all those things that were in my hand, I prepared that ki if the person asks me to, of course they will ask me to introduce myself. What all should I focus on? I can't
Correct.
give a 10-minute introduction. I think you already covered all these topics on those in the calls that you had
Correct. Correct.
after
Correct.
the, so वो pointers तो हमारे पास थे that you gave कि this all you need to focus on.
Yeah.
So yeah, so the whiteboarding session was quite straightforward. We got a problem statement.
Hmm.
related to Rapido only.
Got it.
And and then, as I mentioned earlier also, I took it like a very conversational uh,
Absolutely, which is very, very
zone.
important. Because in those
So there
conversations
shouldn't
is
be
when your
any.
thought process will really come out, right? More than what
Exactly, yeah.
you are
Yes,
putting on the
yes,
paper. It's those
yes,
conversations where the judgment actually happens,
yes.
right? Yeah.
So
Hmm.
I kept asking questions, like the simplest of questions.
Correct.
Ki, uh, like whatever was coming to my mind, I just made sure ki there is no awkward silence or there's no awkwardness for the recruiter also as well as for me also.
Yes. Yes.
Literally took it as if okay, very, very funny story. By the end of it, I
Hmm.
even told the recruiter it felt like I was talking to my sister. I literally told this to the recruiter. Ki I enjoyed it so much. It did not feel like, again, the sense of satisfaction was there by the end of the interview. I knew I had given my 100%,
Yes.
whatever I could at that point of time. That satisfaction for me is very important.
Amazing. Really,
So,
really, really, really happy to hear. If you're all curious about how you can enjoy, how you can do well in a whiteboarding session, I have a video in my channel. You guys can watch that whiteboarding video. It's like an exhaust, it's like a live session which I've done with my students, where we stress on this one aspect, that is keep thinking aloud. Like whatever you are doing,
yes,
just keep thinking about it and keep speaking about it. That's it. Like that's one thing which really, really, really adds a lot of value to whatever you're trying to do on that whiteboarding session. Because whiteboarding is not really about how much fidelity you will deliver in that 45 minutes, 1 hour time you have. It's really about the approach and the thought process you have. So the more you speak about it, the better it is, right? Thank you for being a living example of that, Purvi.
yeah,
Right. Awesome. So, okay. So, fine. So, and then the internship happened, right?
yes.
So, but what's okay, fine. We'll actually, before we talk about how your internship became a full time opportunity, what I wanted to talk about is what is what was your attitude joining an internship? When you are about to join an internship, because I'll tell you the reason why I'm asking this question. People are surprisingly not okay joining internships. Right? I So what was your attitude? What was your attitude joining internship? And then we'll get into the exciting story about converting the internship into full time,
Yes,
all the drama. So we will talk about it. There's an exciting story there. We
yes.
had amazing conversations, right? Good. We'll come to that, but yes. So what was your attitude before you started the internship? Like what? How did you want to approach it?
So,
Hmm.
see, again, being a fresher, I
Hmm.
really wanted to get an experience of what happens in real life, what
Okay.
happens in real companies. That
Hmm.
was like the base level thing. Okay, and if
Okay.
I've got an opportunity like this, of course I want to pursue it, I want to take this up.
Okay.
Now coming to internship, I took it in a way ki, to
Hmm.
teach me real life stuff someone is paying me. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
You are getting paid
For
for,
learning.
स्कूल में जाके आप फीस देते हो, यहाँ पे आप सीख रहे हो और आपको भी मिल रहा है.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So, yes, of
Yeah.
course, like initially it was quite overwhelming,
Yes.
but then, to be honest,
I think
I
companies also figuring this out. They're like, anyway, people are coming here and learning, so we will offer an internship, but you will have to pay us. I think that recently some companies founder has posted
oh
some offer like this, like you will have to work with us for these many months, but you will have to pay me. Anyway,
yeah,
that's a different story. But
yeah.
yes, I really, I really love this attitude of thinking it as like, hey, you know what? I'll get paid, but the most important part is I want to learn. And the good part is I can make mistakes, right? Internship.
Yes, yes.
I can absolutely make mistakes and learn from those mistakes. So
And
yeah.
it
Hmm.
was very evident from the team I was
Okay.
working with. So you
Okay.
need to know that people out there know that you're a fresher. They will not expect something extraordinary from you.
Yep.
They
Yep.
are only expecting your willingness to learn. They
Very.
only expect
Yes.
that you have the ability to learn. You have the ability to. You have some basic skills, but you can develop upon it. You
Yes.
have the ability to grow and grasp things very quickly.
And delivery.
That is very important. Delivery.
Commitment
Yes,
and
of
delivery.
course. Yes, yes, yes,
Very,
definitely.
very important. right? Even if it's not perfect. Actually, you should talk about
Yes.
it. Yeah, you should talk about it. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, exact. So of course everything was very overwhelming initially,
Correct.
because you get very scared. It was a new city also for me. So
Correct.
I'd never seen any corporate world before, no
Hmm.
real life experience of UX. And of
Yes.
course that thinking is just so ingrained ki okay, I don't have a design background as such. It just makes you underconfident at every point. And you
Correct.
have designers around you who are from like good design universities, but then you have to deliberately, make sure that they do notice your skills.
Correct. Correct.
That needs to be very very deliberate.
So
Your
important that one is. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think at times I was very sad. I had so many discussions with you also, that
Correct.
how to do this, how do I make them understand that I am good at such skills, how do I put it forth. And for that you have to ask them. They will not give you कुछ भी ऐसे हाथ में कि ये लो तुम्हारे लिए प्रोजेक्ट नहीं मिलेगा. You have to keep showing your interest. Keep
Correct.
tell me what you. So I used to talk to, of course there were few things.
I remember having this conversation. I think one day you met me
Yes,
in a cafe, or I forgot, but that day you were asking this question, right? I remember
yes,
this.
yes, yes.
Yes,
Huh.
yes, yes,
That conversation again opened up my perspective, opened up how
yes,
my
yes.
mind as to how real world works.
It
And
is
that has
very
been my
important
mantra
to
now.
put the effort in making sure they notice, they know what you're working on. It's not just enough you're just simply working and putting the effort. Visibility
Yes,
is everything.
yes,
Visibility,
yes,
and predictable visibility. It's not just about being visible and doing random stuff and random things, right?
yep,
I have a tracker. I have, this is how you can predictably see me working on stuff, right? This is you like it can just be done through regular updates, or having a tracker, or making sure you present your work on regular cadences. Can be
yes,
any of this, but
yes,
making sure you are visible. Simple,
yes.
simple, right?
So we actually have this
Hmm.
weekly call. We have calls thrice a week. We have weekly call
Correct.
where we share, okay, this is what I'm working on, this is the progress. But
Hmm.
apart from that, also everyone is quite approachable.
Correct.
So throughout, so of course, as soon as I joined on the first day itself, I got a project. Ki, okay,
Hmm.
this is something that we want to experiment and we want to try this out.
Correct.
And pehle din hi meeting. But okay, again, another thing I would like to highlight is that things were overwhelming,
Hmm.
but it never came as a shock,
Yep. Yep.
because through whatever we learned, I knew कि ये more or less in all the companies this is the process. कि
Yeah.
problem statement आता है,
Thanks for
PM
that
से आता है.
endorsement.
नहीं, it genuinely, and I do realize this every day.
Correct.
ये कभी भी एक शॉकर की तरह नहीं आता है कि PM will come, PM will approach you. You have to ask relevant questions or maybe stupid questions to the PM. Ask for
Correct.
metric, ask for questions. Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Why this? Why that? How will we do this? What's the tech bandwidth? And all of that.
ये सब ऑलरेडी
So,
किया था. अनुदीप, UX
huh,
अनुदीप program, we have done it.
how to get to the root problem.
Yeah.
Yes, difficult था, overwhelming था, but nothing was new as such.
Correct. Very good.
The
Hmm.
process was same. So yes, got the project. Of course, you join a company, you have no understanding of what exactly the user base is. You know, but then their peculiar behaviors, what
Correct.
all you should focus on, what's the process like, what exactly are
Hmm.
they expecting out of me.
Correct.
Their expectations also we need to be very clear, because we'll think कि अच्छा उनको ये चाहिए but असली में उनको नहीं चाहिए होता
Correct. Correct.
है, right?
Yes.
So वो सब.
And I remember this part of the conversation, like, see, for telling everyone else, like, yeah, this is what is the expectation of this project and stuff like that. But hey, you know what? Just by the face value, if you just like, hey, you know what? This is what I've delivered. It doesn't work. In those arguments, in those conversations, in those reviews, is when they'll also start getting clarity. You'll also start getting clarity.
Exactly. So yes,
And that's how
thank you
you
for.
grow as a designer, right? Like, we're actually getting into the clue of how to convert your internship into a full-time opportunity. See, a mature designer always understands that it is not just this face value. You're like, just because you told me this maine kar diya is not an answer which a mature designer will give. Both of us are arguing, both of us are figuring out, but I felt, not just felt, I figured out and I experimented and I came to the situation where it might work, right? Probably you disagree to this, probably I disagree to this, but both of us might have common ground, agree to this. But I experimented and came up with this strategy. That should always be your answer. Your answer cannot be you told me to do this, so therefore I did it. It's not my fault. Like, okay, awesome. So I your internship is over now. It's not my fault. Like,
So
awesome.
yeah,
Yes.
nobody
Hmm.
nobody around you has clarity. That's the reality.
That's the reality.
You move from ambiguity to clarity together. The tech team, the PMs,
And you
you
keep
as a designer.
you know limits, right? N tending towards clarity. It's always that limit only. N never reaches infinity, right? N tending
Yes,
towards
yes,
infinity, like that, right? So in the same way, N tending towards clarity, you're always in ambiguity. And that's the reason,
yes,
like
yes.
that's how growth startups operate. Any company operates like that. You keep having ambiguities and you keep moving towards clarity and you pursue that. That's how businesses operate, right?
Yes.
I don't even want ambiguity. I want to have a workplace which will literally tell me everything sorted, proper design process, proper structure. We
Yeah.
exactly know what we're trying to build. Sorry, bro. That's not a good business you're in.
I
Probably
I
we'll shut
wish I
shop in a
could
few days.
I wish I could give like exact example, but like, today itself we spent 2 hours
Yeah.
on making some journey, taking so many assumptions, you
Okay.
know, thinking of so many hypotheses, like literally what we have been doing.
Correct. Correct.
It
Correct.
whenever such situations come in front of me, it lit, just takes me back to
You're like,
the
yay,
days.
ambiguity. Yes.
Yes, yes. Literally happens that way in real life,
Yeah.
not in real.
Yeah.
So yeah, the what
Hmm.
it was like at Rapido was, yes, got projects, was extremely unclear about how to do it, what to do it, but I kept asking my seniors कि इसको
Hmm.
कैसे करना है, इसको ऐसे कर सकते हैं क्या, kept showing them this is what I've worked on. And
Hmm.
simultaneously there will be few points where in an internship you might feel you're not getting substantial work, because of course nobody will trust an intern with a big project.
Yes.
So I uh, made this habit that I kept asking my seniors, what are you working on? What is the
Very
problem
good.
you're tackling? Should I help you with something? You can also do this. I can do this for you.
Yes.
So you should know what others are working on. And if you feel you can contribute in something, just talk to your senior, whoever senior is, you can talk to them. "Ki, I really want to be a part of this project," and they will be very happy to get you involved. They
Yes.
actually are sitting
I
there
remember
to
this
see how
conversation.
enthusiastic you are.
I remember this conversation. Like this line is so important, right? The thing is to say that the line about nobody trusts an intern with a very big project, right? We have to accept this. People take it with a lot of ego that, hey, you know what? I'm a trained designer. Why are you not giving me great projects? Like I want to blame the company for it. No, dude.
Yeah.
You need to earn trust.
Yes. Yes.
Are you putting the effort to come and say, I am doing these experiments? I am proposing all this forward. I'm taking feedback and I am becoming one of the people who is actually fitting in this particular culture which you have established. Did you put in the effort so that others can see the trust in you? Only if yes, that's when bigger projects will come to you.
Yes.
By
You
default,
have
just
to.
because you're calling yourself a designer, they won't give you the best of the projects out there,
Absolutely.
right? Very, very important realization. And that's why the right attitude is very important here. If you take it with a lot of this ego and I'm like no, like it won't work out, right? You'll always remain an intern, jumping from internships to internships,
Even
right?
even in full
Yes.
time, like
Yes.
last 2 weeks, I thought I can do more work and all of that. I thought maybe I can get involved in something else also. I asked my senior, okay, this is the ticket that you've got, this is the project. If I have the bandwidth, I'll like to be involved in that. Discuss
Correct.
this with me, send me the file, I'll go through it.
This is the
So
mantra. Being intern to full-time, full-time junior designer to mid-level, mid-level to senior, senior, like everywhere, this is the mantra. Simple mantra, right? Yes.
so
Okay, I think now with this we'll have to definitely now reveal what is the drama which has happened, right? How did the internship turn into a full-time
full
opportunity,
time.
right? So
See,
now let's
one day.
talk about that story, right? The story which made Purvi a full-time designer, or else she would have been a full-time intern forever.
I would have been unemployed at this point, not on this life call.
Yeah. Yes.
So
Yes.
uh, it was definitely not a one day thing that I go and tell
Correct.
them कि okay tomorrow it's ending, give me a full time. No, वो
Correct.
पूरा जो 6 months है, you have to throughout ensure that they are realizing what you're bringing to the table.
Correct.
They are realizing your weaknesses also, at the same time they are also realizing. So I made a lot of mistakes during
Yes.
my internship. ठीक है, I
Correct.
literally made a lot. एक बारी तो इतना बड़ा मिस्टेक किया था, I literally cried कि what have I done. And my friend made me realize कि the company won't shut, it's okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You're right.
because you just think, and nobody actually scolded me for that. They were like ठीक है,
That's the
तुम अभी यही
reality. You
सीखोगी.
are experimenting. I mean, we are humans, right? I mean, if there is no point for, if there is no way to do human errors, I mean, the word experimentation itself means it can fail, dude. I mean, or else it's not called experimentation. It's called, what do you call? Things which are always true. Science.
Science, yeah,
Even in science, there is experimentation, right?
experimentation. Yep.
Yeah. Go
So
ahead. Yes. So,
uh,
yeah. So you're doing a bunch of mistakes and then,
हाँ,
but,
so
but
but
constantly asking. That's the first point, guys.
constantly asking, yes.
You actually, I had this conversation with Purvi before that, that offer discussion. I was like, Purvi, until you ask them about full time, they're going to make you work perpetually as as like they're paying you nicely some 20-30,000, or I don't even know if that much. Like they're getting very good quality work. You're an amazing designer. They'll continue doing that, right? You can't continuously keep thinking that, oh awesome, I'm working very well, they'll automatically make me a full time employee. ऐसा नहीं होगा. Right? Go ahead. Yeah, please
So
continue talking about how you were constantly having these conversations. And yeah, go ahead.
so that was a deliberate effort because again from
Hmm.
my end I wanted to make sure कि uh, I am putting in the effort. Now if it's the company's call that they do not have the position, or maybe I might be the one who is not fit as per the
Hmm.
expectation, that's secondary.
Correct.
I want to make sure that I learn whatever I can in those 6 months. I have the repo with my seniors.
Yeah.
Keep asking them again. One another thing I did was, after like at regular intervals, I used to go to my seniors
Huh.
individually, ask them
Hmm.
ki, are you liking my work? Where should I improve more? What do you think is good about me?
Hmm.
So my seniors actually helped me realize that these are your strong points, and these are areas where you can improve.
Got it. Got it.
So these feedbacks also really helped me
Hmm.
in
Hmm.
shaping my own sense of what where I stand currently.
Got it.
Now when it came
Yes.
to converting
Constantly
it,
asking, constantly showcasing your work, constantly getting peer reviews and showcasing your iterations, putting your iterations out there and showcasing that as well. Right? Awesome.
getting
And
involved in their
yes.
project,
Yes. Right?
deliberate नहीं भी जगह है तो मुझे बता दो क्या कर रहे हो, give me a
Yes.
small gist of whatever you're doing, send me the file, I'll go through it and
Correct.
all of that.
And you know why all this is important? All this is important mainly because, see, ultimately, if a company needs to make a higher call, you need to be a valuable asset for them. So when we keep hearing this in a very funny manner, you're a valuable asset to our company. But what does this valuable asset mean? Value means if you are there, the company makes enough money. Simple, straightforward, paisa game hai, right? So if you are putting your time over there, the company pays you something, what is the business impact which you are going and giving? It's a very simple thing, right? So by doing all these things, by actually constantly going backwards and saying that this is the work which I have done, by going and taking that feedback, by being very enthusiastic, being proactive, all you're telling the company is, you know what, for the time which you have paid me, I have utilized this time very well, and I am a valuable asset. Because of me, this is the impact which has happened. This is the communication which you are giving by constantly reminding them about the work which you have done. Right?
Thank you for summing
Awesome.
that up. Summing that
Yes,
up.
yes, right. So tell me, Purvi. So what actually happened? What triggered? What
This
triggered?
is this is whatever you said now. This is what I made them realize. So I talked to my manager.
Yeah.
I talked to my manager because of course they also interact with so many people. My
Correct.
manager wouldn't he wouldn't himself realize what value I bring to the table. बिकॉज
Correct.
वो धीरे धीरे उन्होंने मेरे 6 महीने तक मेरा काम देखा है.
Correct.
तो he himself told me, do one thing, give me a gist of whatever you have worked on. So
Hmm.
I'll see everything. Ki being an intern in 6 months, this has been your contribution. So I was like,
Correct.
done. यही मुझे करना था.
This is very important, right? That empathy is very important. Like, see, because that person is also just a human, right? I mean, how
Exactly.
can you them be expect them to be a god who will obviously have everything in this mind and they know whatever you have done right from the starting? Beautiful, like very beautiful. Like obviously you realize that that person also needs a good reminder. Very good. Okay, then.
Yeah. So Gen Z में वो भी वो होता है ना, your partner will not know what you're going through. Make them realize. You have to speak it out. Tell them कि I need this.
Correct.
This
Correct.
is why I need this. So
Yes.
so I prepared a
Hmm.
presentation as to
Okay.
why they should hire me.
Okay. Hmm.
So I mentioned all the, again, my senior built this habit for me where
Hmm.
there was a tracker of each and every day. We maintained an Excel sheet. Every single day, I used to write what have I worked on that particular day.
Wonderful. This is like,
For like 6 months, each
and this
and
is so
every
rare.
day.
I'm telling you, if you have done this, you are absolutely hireable. This is very rare to find people who keep track of their work so regularly.
Yes.
Beautiful. This is okay.
So every
Okay.
single day, like Monday
Okay.
to Friday, this is what I worked on. So of course there were a lot of small things also that I worked on, but I focused on the major projects.
Correct.
I टाइमलाइन के साथ मैंने उनको दिखाया कि इस डेट को इस डेट को आई गॉट द ब्रीफ, इस
Yes.
डेट को ये काम हुआ एंड सो डेट को हैंड ऑफ हुआ,
Crazy.
डेट वाइज, वेरी वेरी प्रिसाइज.
You're anyway
नाउ
good with
अपार्ट
the
फ्रॉम दैट,
dates. You're like a historian.
so I'm not, this was my
The
first
secret
job,
was
that's
an
why I
Excel
remember.
sheet. Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, in the presentation I mentioned ki these are the major projects, and
Hmm.
this was this is what exactly I did. This was the impact. These were the challenges I faced,
Got it.
and this is what I learned. ये
Hmm.
चार
Hmm.
थे of the 3-4 projects, major projects that I worked on. Apart from that, I also showcased कि अच्छा this these were the other ad hoc tasks that I did. Helped my senior in this testing and all of that.
Very good. Very
Uh,
good. Yeah. Hmm.
so I primarily focused on that, and yeah, what else did I mention? So it actually gave them an overall gist. Also, what I reached out to everyone I
This is more
collaborated with.
than this is more than enough. Because I'll tell you, see, let us say if I am a manager, I have a bunch of mentees. Most of the times, what happens is the not mentees, sorry, the I got so used to saying mentees. Uh, let's say they have reportees, right? Generally, there's also people come sometimes give this complaint, right? Hey, you know what? The promotion is going to the person who has been the loudest, who has just made a good tracker of all the work, but I put the hardest of effort. But that's the reality. If I'm a manager, if I have to evaluate you, please remind me of the work which you have done. It's as simple as that,
Yes.
right? And I'm telling you, this is very rare. Like people, even who are there in this live, they'll all hear this, but they'll not do it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So that
because they don't expect anyone to come and appreciate you. Appreciation लेना पड़ेगा कि मैंने काम किया है. ये impact
very very important.
impact हुआ है. If even if
And in
you
the long run, right?
disagree, था.
Every day you're writing little bit about what you have done. In the
Yes, yes,
long run, it becomes such an important resource. You see that, oh, I've done this much in the last 6 months. And
yes.
when someone comes and asks you, hey, what did you do in the last 6 months? You have a ready answer. Compared to another person who will have to then sit and understand what it like. And most of the time, you might have forgotten all the decisions and all the stuff which you have done and just
Yeah.
lies with the impressions, right?
Apart from that, like I also maintained a file of my own where
Hmm.
I wrote all the tasks, and वो task के side में I used to mention the Figma file कि
Yes,
ये है, मैंने काम किया इस पे.
correct.
So
Now get into the story, okay, where what happened? Like, how did the hire call happen? Like, was the role there, not there? Like, tell a story about
so
like, at one point you decided like, if it happens, I'm going to stay. If not, like, done. Right? Please talk about that story. Yeah.
can you repeat this?
No, no. The actual how did the hire call happen? The story of how you
So
decided that either I get
I,
hired or I leave, right?
okay, I
Or I
decide
continue my internship and I was like,
हाँ. That was also back of the mind कि since I was also I think last on the 6th month of my internship I started actively applying for again.
Hmm.
That's when I upgraded my portfolio. Also mentioned that Rapido made a Rapido case study and all of that.
Hmm.
Uh, I started actively looking for other opportunities.
Which is very
Started
important.
interviewing. Yeah.
And internship
So
means
that was
that all of you, if you're working as an intern, you can always openly go and apply to other places. And in fact, you have to tell your manager also, I'm applying to other places. Give them that
yes,
FOMO. Either you hire me as quickly as possible, or I'm gone.
yes.
Right? Yeah.
So
Hmm.
I did get some interview calls also. I was preparing for that simultaneously
Hmm.
because again I was never very overconfident कि अच्छा I'll get a full time at Rapido because I talked to a talked a lot to my seniors also, and yeah, ambiguity था कि don't know if there's a position or not,
Yeah.
don't know if they'll give full time and all of that.
Generally, it's not always about you not performing. Sometimes it's also
Yes,
about they don't have an opportunity, like they don't have a role,
yes,
or let's say
yes,
they don't have the budget for it or stuff like that, or they might have
yes.
recently hired someone and
But
stuff like that. Hmm.
yeah, for my own satisfaction through
Hmm.
conversations, I at least gained an understanding of like the
Hmm.
answer to the question if I am the one who is lagging skills or if
Yes.
there is some company. So कहीं ना कहीं वो confidence आ गया था through my
Correct.
seniors feedback कि you
Huh.
are very like you're quite good at
Hmm.
whatever you are doing at this stage. As an intern, you have done much more than what is expected. So
Correct.
don't take it on yourself. Even if you don't
Correct.
get hired, there's nothing to be sad about. Start applying to other places.
Yes.
You are at a good position.
Yes. This story will
So
be
got that
absolutely highlighted in
validation,
other places. Yes. Yes. Yes.
right?
Hmm.
Also, in what I also did in the presentation that I gave to the
Hmm.
entire team, actually, it was
Hmm.
not just for the manager, but to the entire team.
That's a good one.
So,
Okay.
and the presentation went on for 1.5 to 2 hours. It was not a straightforward presentation.
Okay.
While I was presenting, my manager asked me a lot of questions कि इसमें तो
Ah.
ऐसा हो गया था, इसका तो impact वैसा नहीं हुआ था जैसा सोचा था. So again, I had to sort of argue and tell कि हाँ maybe
Hmm.
ऐसा नहीं हुआ था, but then we still got a lot of other insights that are
Hmm.
invaluable valuable for the company, and
Huh.
that's and उस insights को हम in future कैसे use कर सकते हैं,
Huh.
and
Huh.
how will if I get hired, how will I take accountability of these projects I've worked on. This is the future plan that I already have of those projects.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, so also setting up some future expectation कि if you hire me, this is what I will do. And
You're basically turn the whole presentation into in the end my sales pitch, like
हाँ,
to
sort of,
for this subscription to go forward, please pay.
yes.
Your premium
And
model is
I
over, has expired. Now either hire
in
me full
those
time or you're going to lose all this, huh?
in those 6 months, like I also collaborated with other content
Yeah.
team, and so I asked them for a review. So they gave me very nicely written review from content team. I got content managers from my
Nice,
senior also.
nice.
I got. I pasted those written testimonials in my presentation. Okay, this is
Very
what
good.
other teammates are saying.
Okay.
So it's not
Hmm.
just our team, but other team members also want to work with me.
I think I should build a full-fledged course on converting internships to full-time basis, whatever you have done. Like everything you have done will be a part of the course module.
So
Yes.
yes, so I
Hmm.
presented. I gave it
Yeah.
my all from
Yeah.
my end. कि मैंने आपको सारे pointers दे दिए हैं कि why you should hire me and all of that. Now the team discussion happened, and
Hmm.
then they took a call कि okay,
Negotiation. Hmm.
then they
Huh.
called me like it was the second last day of my internship,
Hmm.
and my manager and till I'm telling you till the time I was told that you are we will be giving you a full time position,
Hmm.
I thought कि नहीं होने वाला, नहीं
Got
होगा.
it.
मैंने कर दिया, okay, I'm satisfied, but I had no hopes,
Okay.
zero hopes. So the manager called me and I was like shaking. I was like, last day है, laptop ये सब देने बुलाया है. He'll say कि okay, it was very nice working with you. You can submit all your belongings and tata bye bye.
Okay. Hmm.
But then thankfully, like yeah, so it was my manager, one of the senior designers. So he called me and in front of me, he asked the designer कि क्या लगता है, should we hire her and all of that. And she said कि yeah, like we liked her work, like
Yeah.
इस चीज में अच्छे से काम किया है and potential है,
Yeah.
all of that. and say like, okay, we'll be offering you full time thing.
The story doesn't stop there. That's the beauty. She's like, anyone else, I'm telling you, nobody will have the guts. I'm telling you, like, nobody else will have the guts, Purvi. Anyone else in that position would have, like, okay, awesome, I finally got an offer. Whatever you offer, I will take and come. No, no. Please reveal what
So
happened.
after
Yeah.
this, the research starts about what's the industry standards right now, how much is other
Hmm.
companies paying, and also you kind of know at what position are you right now.
Correct.
Of course, you
Correct.
cannot ask for some amount जो खुद को पता है you are not worthy of. I talked to
Correct.
you also, okay, you also gave me
Hmm.
a clear picture of this is how much you can expect.
Correct. Correct. Hmm.
So of course they gave me, they were
I was very clear about the
offering.
number.
Yes, yes.
This is what you will get. This is what you should ask. Done. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yes.
of course
Hmm.
they, like usual, they offered me something जो मैंने एकदम least expect किया था. I
Correct.
also talked to my seniors कि what can I expect, give me some range. I'm new
Hmm.
to this, I'm not aware of what the exact
Hmm.
standards right now. They also were very helpful in making me understand कि कैसे company काम करती है. So yes, they initial offer सुन के I was taken aback कि I expected a bit more. So I conveyed this to the HR ki with so and so skills and so and so position, I was expecting this much.
Which was the
Uh,
most craziest part. I was like, wow, like look at the guts she has to do that. Like, I mean, even at this stage,
yeah,
when they are like still like, should we hire her, not hire her? And she's like, see, if you're giving me an offer, this is not what it is. Either
yes,
do this number or don't give me an offer. Look at that guts, man.
हाँ, because एक basic, you
Hmm.
should also, you should not take exploitation also.
Absolutely,
वो
absolutely.
base level, if the industry is like that, and we know what Rapido, where Rapido stands at as a company.
Correct.
So of
Correct.
course, like usually this only happens. They'll offer you somewhat less than maybe what their actual budget is,
Correct.
and
So that you
they
will
were,
probably prove to be that person in a few months, and they can do
yeah,
justice. That's the usual thought process, right?
yes, yes.
But on top of it,
So I
also
conveyed
depends
it.
on you again on like how much risk are you willing to take to play that game very well at over there, right?
Yeah. So
Hmm.
I conveyed it ki this is not what I expected. It's quite less. I feel if you
Hmm.
can increase it to so and so amount,
By
that would be
50%.
better. I wish. I wish they had done that.
By exactly 50% increase it, please. Not 10%, 20%, 50%. And get back to me.
They'll be like, okay, अभी अभी वो पोजीशन हमने बंद कर दिया है. It's okay. Go back. So,
Nice.
so I asked for it, and they had an internal discussion.
Hmm.
They talked to my manager also, and yeah, they agreed to it. कि, okay, this is what we can offer to you.
They couldn't really leave you. They're like, ah, yaar, I mean, it's okay. Let's. I'm telling you, it's very, very rare to people, one who keep track of their work, who keep learning, will come and present and argue, right? There are most people who just simply, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. That's it. Simple.
All this, to be honest, I've learned, and like my senior was the one who asked me to note down. So you learn so much from your
Correct.
seniors also, how they
Absolutely.
document everything, how they approach a problem. So it's very
Yes.
very important, and thankfully, like
I mean,
I have
because you have
amazing.
that attitude to learn, right? Or else you could always be bitching about other people,
Yeah.
which totally happens, right? Like, हाँ इसको एनएफटी डिग्री तो है, हाँ इसको ये तो है, इसको we always associate the wrong reasons for things happening to others instead of just going and understanding what makes them that person, right? Wow, this
Yeah,
is
I
really
did not go
inspirational.
to a design school, but yeah, I made sure कि whoever has
You
been
became
to
a
a
designer.
design school, huh, what?
No, go ahead,
I'm
go ahead.
saying I did
You
not
say
go
it
to a
and then
design.
I'll say it. You say it first.
I did not go to a design school, but I made sure कि because of the inferiority complex that I was feeling, I made sure कि कहीं
Hmm,
ना कहीं से I get an understanding, और जो qualities maybe उन्होंने सीखा होगा अपने time पे, how
correct.
can I take all those from them and practice
I was
those.
summarizing it by saying I might not have studied in a design school, but I became a designer.
Yes,
Right?
that is it.
Yeah. Beautiful,
Yeah,
beautiful.
that
So,
was my journey. But yeah, every day is challenging.
absolutely, the
Every
story
day,
will continue. I'm
yeah,
I'm damn sure this you have this fight only continues, and this is just the starting. I mean, this is no time for retirement. हाँ मिल
yeah.
गया good offer. No. I think
To
now
be
she's
honest, अब ज़्यादा
continuously.
pressurizing है. अब I feel
Yes.
more pressured कि shit, they have believed in me. They have given me full time. What if I am not able to deliver? That
Simple.
somehow the other anxiousness will always remain, I feel.
You'll continue to keep having conversations with your manager. You'll continue to keep asking for promotion. You'll continue to keep presenting your work. You continuously keep learning from your seniors. You'll continuously keep taking feedback. That's it. Simple, simple. Same formula. Right? Attitude to learn.
Yes,
Student
yes.
for life.
Just of the
Right?
entire thing. Student for life. And it has to be like that.
Hmm.
You need not know all the tool skills. ज़रूरत भी नहीं है, सीख जाओगे.
Yes.
पर I have learned from the first day of my internship.
Huh.
I learned an entirely new tool जिसके बारे में मैंने कभी सुना भी नहीं था.
What is that tool?
It's Storyly. It's the case study that uh,
Ah, okay,
it's mentioned in
interesting.
my case study also. It's a completely different platform. We wanted to integrate it in the in Rapido, Captain app.
Nice, nice, nice.
So
Your ability to
currently,
learn new tools. And this is very, very important, right? Most people like,
yeah,
hey, you know what? The industry will select me for knowing a lot of tools. No, no.
yeah,
The industry wants you for your ability to learn tools,
yeah, and it's not a design tool as such.
right?
It's a
Absolutely.
tool where you can create stories and integrate it into the app. Now, what tool may you can see the analytics and all of that. So you have to gain that
Yeah.
understanding. And all that. So
See, I would if I'm willing to hire Purvi, I will. But if I'm willing to hire Purvi, I'm not going to hire her because she knows Figma or this other tool or non-design tools doesn't tool. One thing I know about Purvi, if at all, today I we explore one new tool and say, hey, you know what? Looks like there is this new tool in the market. I've heard something about Creati, right? It has some good AI features and stuff like that. Why don't you experiment? Go do this project and come back. I know for a fact that in a week she will do very well. That's it. I will hire her for an ability to go and learn tools and come back and impact business. That's it. Which is what you will also
or
have to build.
maybe
You
yeah,
don't
or
have to
maybe
learn
go
all the
and
tools
do
out there.
research.
Just go build stories of how, given a tool, how you will go and approach it, learn it, and come back and get impact. That's it. Good, good. So you're saying something about research. Yeah.
I was saying कि or maybe just go and search for some alternative tool. It's not
Yes.
that वो
Yes.
tool दे दिया तो उसी पे काम करना है. You can go and search for some alternative tool कि we can
Yes.
try this also if not this. It's easier.
Yes. Yes.
At the end of the day,
Companies will
they
love it.
want work
You're
to be done.
coming and bringing efficient tools and you are able to bring in more efficiency, right?
Yeah.
That companies absolutely love it, right? And that's
Yes.
what ownership is, right? I mean, what differentiates you from the other designers out there, because they're just working with the same things which have been given to them. And you'll do that. On top of it, I want to increase the efficiency. I'll also explore a new tool. I'll do the same work probably in a much better manner while keeping my basics in place,
Yes. Yes.
right? So obviously, Purvi, you will continue to do this, and I'll be very proud, and I'm damn sure you will have an
Surely.
amazing career ahead, right? So this story has
So
been really, really amazing, very inspiring. But before we close, I'm damn sure there are a bunch of people. There have been a lot of people who have been viewing this live, and I'm surprised by the numbers which I'm seeing here. So this has been a really, really good and engaging live. So people on the
thank you
live
guys.
might be having some questions. So please, if you have any questions to ask Purvi or myself, please put them on the chat, and we would love to discuss about that. And love to discuss to you. I think my team can start once the questions keep coming on the chat. I think my team can start putting those questions over here for us to see, right? So, and if you have some appreciation, And if you have learned something, please feel free to drop that as well. Whatever you have learned, please share about that as well on the chat. We'll be very happy to see that. I'm damn sure Purvi will also be very happy. It gives
Yes.
her the confidence that if her story, whatever she has genuinely done, has inspired a bunch of people out there, the amount of satisfaction it will give to her will be mind blowing. It will be amazing, right? I can absolutely tell this as a mentor when I see you know whatever I've made, one exercise or whatever, one class or whatever, that goes into practice and someone's life gets impacted and they come and share that story with me. I'm like, yes, dude, I mean, I can sleep very happily, right? So
Yep.
please share your gratitude with Purvi as well here, and she'll be very, very happy, right?
I'm pretty sure a lot of people must be feeling too overwhelmed right now. Ki, oh my God, she did this, she did that, but नहीं था.
This is
ऐसे
helpful.
हाँ मतलब how
Kid,
like you do
be a
not
kid.
think you have to do something extraordinary. You just have to do what you're supposed to. If
No,
you're
no.
doing something, do it with
Supposed to
all
is
your
wrong.
heart.
I'm mentoring you on live call also, but anyway. Supposed to
Supposed to
nahi
as in do it
hai.
with full conviction and give your full dedication to it.
Like kids do. Kids like
Yes.
Purvi, right? They don't know whether it is going to be absolutely right or wrong, but they'll do it with full conviction. Like and they're not
Exactly.
worried to make mistakes.
Yeah.
They'll cry over the mistake, then 5 minutes later they're doing something else,
Yeah.
right? Okay, I think there was some question on the chat. Can we just quickly uh, uh can we have that question again? So there are a bunch of people. I can read it from the chat over here. Design with you, very inspiring. I also completed an online bootcamp struggling to make portfolio. After watching this video, I'm very inspired. Good
Thank
to know
you.
that. So
Yeah.
whatever your name
Means
is
means a lot.
will be very helpful.
Just start is the mantra.
Anjali says during the interview, it was a whiteboarding session. I did not expect, but just to watch this video, it's better to say understanding comes from
Thank you,
curiosity. Okay.
Aditi.
Aditi, very informative and insightful. Thank you,
Thank
Purvi and
you.
Anudeep. I think we
Thank
have
you.
covered all their questions. So like, sub hai isme. I'll take this video. Right, Ardeep, I don't want your mentorship program. Nothing. This video is
Kuch bhi.
this is the full-fledged framework. How to become a UX designer in 2025. All these videos are there, no? How to become a
I
successful UX designer in
yeah.
2025. A complete roadmap. This is the roadmap. This story, this raw story, what you have heard right now, is the roadmap piece, right? Consistency, consistent practice, becoming the designer, being very curious, very open to do mistakes, happy to
Yeah.
debate. That's the framework to become a designer. And you become a designer, the industry is waiting for you,
Yes.
right? Yes. So awesome. So I think with that we can definitely wind up. Very sad to wind up. I'm damn sure there are a lot of insightful conversations which we can have, but I think within a year's time, I think we should do this live again with Purvi, who will become a senior designer by then.
Oh,
Let's see.
okay. I hope so.
Yes, and Purvi will definitely come back being a mentor. I'm damn sure Purvi. Like, I'm not even giving
So
an
much
option. I'm
to
not saying.
learn.
I'm not even asking her. I'm like not even asking like, will you become a mentor? I'm already telling.
Okay.
Right. See, it's a big misconception, right? A mentor is not someone who knows everything, right?
Yeah.
That's not what a mentor is. Everyone who knows everything is ChatGPT or Google, right? A mentor is someone who can help others act. Simple, right? If your story inspires another person, and if you have it in you that you can make people go out of their ambiguity and make them act, then you are a mentor, right? You don't have to be that person who yourself will be that greatest person of all time and stuff like that. You know a lot of stuff. What does it matter? Like, I know a lot about UX. How does it matter to you? if I don't make you act,
Yeah.
right? If I don't get results to you, I don't make you act, what's the point of me having a lot of knowledge? So don't have this misconception that you can't be a mentor. This very story is what people really need out there, right? And if someone approaches you, please, I'm sure Purvi is very happy to share these stories and
Yes, yes,
talk about this.
sure.
And she has constantly been telling about her senior, her manager, her this friend, and all these people who have been helping her, right? Her group, the community, all these people whom
Yes,
she has
yes,
been constantly grateful to. I'm damn sure she will be um, willing to return that gratitude back to you as well. So please feel free to
absolutely.
approach Purvi, right? So yes, Purvi, any closing words before we actually
Yeah.
finish the live session? Yeah.
Firstly, you will never be confident. You can never be. You will
Okay.
always have doubts. Just keep working, keep going in the directions you want to.
Yes.
Secondly, you cannot learn UX or product design. You can never. There is no single mantra. Even if you know stuff, at times you'll just completely miss out on that, and then you'll think, "Ki shit, मैंने इतनी stupid mistake कैसे कर दी?" But that's how it is.
Yes.
But हाँ, वो after experience, those things get imbibed into you very naturally. कि you won't make those minor mistakes. That's true. But वो
You
with
become the
experience ही
practitioner.
आएगा. Yes,
You
yes.
become the practitioner.
So, these
Very
two
good.
things.
Hmm.
So if someone is here कि कोई मुझे सिखा देगा UX, वो नहीं हो सकता कभी भी.
नहीं हो सकता यार, I
कभी नहीं हो सकता. Nobody
mean.
can teach you anything. Thinking खुद से आएगी.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
yeah.
Thank you very much for Purvi, and
So
I thank you so much for trusting the whole process, the whole, like the whole ideology which we have, the non-textbook approach, as you rightly pointed out, right? It's not really about when someone says like nobody can teach you UX. What she means to say is like nobody can make you download stuff into your, because UX is not about downloading stuff into your brain. Like I have these 10 principles, 10 this, 10 that, right? All these things. Downloading stuff into your brain is not how UX works, right? So, Puri, thank you so much for trusting the whole thing. Like I think you might have worked on some 70 assignments, and like, right, as a part of the program. All these assignments were just simple ways of picking your brain and thinking about various, like, in various ways.
yeah,
And the most important part is not getting answers.
yeah.
70 assignments, like more than probably like more than 100, but all the assignments to simply
Yes,
confuse you, land you into ambiguity, make you think more, debate about it. And surprisingly, that is what makes you a designer, right? So thank you for trusting that and being there and being very curious, and being this inspiring person who will always be with your values and inspire with your values. Thank you so much. And absolutely
uh,
thank you so much for making time and
yes.
joining on this live session on a very, very short notice.
It
Day before yesterday, we
actually was very
decided.
insightful for me also. Few things that I did not reflect upon, I did not realize on my own. This
Yes.
conversation made me realize those things.
Some you are applying to another company, show this video. Over. You're hired.
No,
Right.
one thing I absolutely sort of missed out on is
Hmm.
to give everyone an idea of how business metric, how important is business metric in reality. So whenever you are working in a real life company, you will never go up to someone and say कि ये हमने डिस्टॉर्ट प्रिंसिपल के लिए किया है या ये हमने जैकॉब्स लॉ के लिए किया है. You will talk in terms of business कि
Absolutely.
और maybe user understanding कि this is what the user understands, जिसके वजह से conversions आएंगे या जिसकी वजह से जो भी whatever metric you're working on, that will move in a positive direction. So
Yes.
that is
Yes.
also something. So what those understandings of different laws and everything is to
Have
what
lenses.
again that is to have lenses, and again is to justify what you have designed basically.
Correct.
But
Correct.
even if you can apply Jacob's law to something, but it will not move business metric, the company does not care about whatever you have done.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
so
Remember this
that is
exercise, no?
also very
Yeah,
important.
dude, Rapido was a part of this exercise. I am just seeing it now. right? The business
I
metrics
do. Yeah,
exercise.
yeah.
Interesting.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes,
So
yes, yes.
business impact, right? Translate everything what you do to business
Yes.
impact, and impact is measured through metrics. So
Yeah.
thank you for that reminder, Purvi.
Yeah.
So
I completely forgot to
yes,
mention it. Yeah.
yes. With that being said, thank you everyone for joining this session. We'll be doing more of these sessions as we keep going forward. The idea is to keep coming every week and bringing multiple success stories to you on a weekly basis. So, see you again next week, probably in another exciting live session. If you have not subscribed, please stay subscribed to this channel. Please, there are a lot of wonderful videos which we keep posting, very insightful videos from some of the conversations which we keep having in the community and the mentorship program. So you can watch those videos. These videos are not like viral videos where they get like millions of views and stuff like that. We create very heartful and genuine content. We don't over edit them and over commercialize them. We stick to what our core principles are, and very few people actually watch those things and they are very happy and their life gets impacted, right? So please go and watch those videos. They'll change your perspectives. And absolutely, if you have interest in having a conversation with me or talking with me or having my mentorship, please show your interest. There is a In the description there is a link where you can fill the form and show your interest for mentorship. With that being said, see you all. Thank you. Have a great night and goodbye. Student for life.
Students for life. Yeah. Bye bye.
Bye.